Hey, hon, it's another opening day here in Baltimore, and we've got you set with all the O's coverage here on GCR. So call some bros, crush some bows, and get ready for the O's right here on Glenn Clark Radio. He is Glenn Clark.
The bummer is I really like that. We had a tough start to the show, which is a real bummer because I quite enjoyed the open.
Yeah, somebody turned my mic all the way down and turned the music on the...
But that's on the
on the
job,
producer.
Yeah, it's
I
the
know.
job of the producer to check.
It's not supposed to be that way, so I wasn't looking for it. And then
sometimes we have to pre-record things around here, and
I
sometimes that unfortunately means that we have to move some things around.
Well, and then I caught that the volume was down on the computer, and I turned it up, and then when I went to go play the music again, it turned all the way back down again, so then I had to turn it back up. But we're rocking and rolling.
Well, we are rocking. You know what? We are, aren't we? We're rocking and rolling. Except for Cass. I don't know what happened to Cass. Never know what's going on back there. Mom, the meatloaf. What are we doing?
Isn't she running the board today?
Well, she was. We have an in-studio guest that's kind of we're gonna have Cass run. She ran on the board on Tuesday, and we're gonna have her run the board again in the second hour today.
Who did better?
Let's not settle down over there, Lil Joe. Listen to this guy trying to cause problems. You know, Cass is a team player, unlike you.
She didn't need a cheat sheet.
Yeah.
This is true.
Ooh. All right, we got a lot to do on the show today. We do have a guest joining us in the studio. It's Baltimore Police Commissioner Michael Harrison is going to be stopping by here in just a bit ahead of opening day. We will talk to him, get some tips for how you guys should go about handling yourself maybe a bit more appropriately on opening day. How can we have fun but maybe avoid trouble? We'll talk about that. And look, we'll talk about some big picture stuff. As I said, we're happy to help them in their push as they're trying to find some more folks to join the force. But we got some other questions that we want to address with Michael Harrison about safety in the city for folks that are trying to go to games. So we will talk to him about all of that as Cass wanders in. Hi, Cass. Good to see you.
The prodigal daughter returns.
Right. Also, later on in the program, I'm really excited about this. As you guys know, I'm obsessed with the show Winning Time on HBO. And as it turns out, I learned this week that the guy who plays Michael Cooper, he's from Baltimore. He went to Poly. He went to Maryland. His name's Delante Desouza. It's his big breakout acting opportunity. He's killing it. Winning Time just got picked up for a second season. Thank effing God. It is a brilliant show. Brilliant. So I'm looking forward to chatting with Delante Desouza later on in the program. Hasim Rahman Jr., the son, yes, of course, of Mike Tyson. That is correct. He is the son of the he's, of course, the son of Hasim Rahman. He's going to be fighting. This is a really cool fight. He's going to be fighting the son of Tommy Morrison. And, of course, Lil Jordan, you know that Tommy Morrison is...
My internet shorted out. Piggy.
Looking for some new staff members here on Glenn Clark Radio. If anybody's interested, email Glenn at PressBoxOnline.com. Let me know your background. Let me know if you know things. If you've read a book at some point. Anything along those lines. Just looking for some new staff members around these parts to join us here on Glenn Clark Radio. Did you ever watch any of the Rocky movies? Oh,
get out of here.
I know.
No, literally get out of here. Go out the door. Get down to your car and go home.
Go do that. Go spend your day there. Mr. Metz. How's it going to see Max Scherzer's first start going for you? How's that? Yeah, how's that?
It'll be fun.
Yeah, will it? Yeah.
Are you a Mets fan?
No, my dad's a huge Mets fan, so he raised me as a Mets fan, but I'm an Orioles fan.
Okay.
I'm not.
I mean, I think we're all Mets fans with Buck being there now.
Oh, yeah.
Cass. You ever seen a Rocky movie?
Yes.
How many?
Yeah.
How many of them have you seen?
Only one.
Which one?
I can't remember.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I was. But like, I watched it with my dad when I was younger. You have to understand the amount of things I've watched with my father that I can't remember. Old westerns. Clint Eastwood. I think I've seen every film he's in. I couldn't name one. I couldn't tell you what it's about, but I've seen every single one of them.
No, my dad didn't. We didn't watch movies.
All right. Well, I'm gonna hang myself.
You shouldn't be worried about anyone. It's
movies.
him.
No.
He said that so
movies.
sadly.
Yeah, right?
We didn't watch movies.
What did you watch?
We broke rocks with pickaxes.
We watched Chips and Emergency 51 on repeat.
Might need to have a conversation with your father at some point. I might need to sit down with him and talk to him about the damage that's been done and how we might go about fixing said damage. Also later on in the program, Spencer Anderson, he is all Big Ten offensive tackle at the University of Maryland, decided to come back for another year. They're in the throes of spring football. We will catch up with him as well. So a lot to do on a Friday edition of the program. Today's show brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. That's where I'll be on Sunday watching the golf. Looking forward to it. I got a surprise for everybody. Drew Forrester's joining me. We're going to be giving away free rounds of golf. We got betting advice for you to help you win money during the final round of the Masters. Come join us on Sunday in the FanDuel Sportsbook for the final round of the tournament. Looking forward to hanging out with you guys then. Right now, as I check in down in Augusta, it's still Sungjae Im and Cameron Smith atop the leaderboard. Oh, Sungjae Im gave a shot back. So, yes, now he's tied with Cameron Smith. They're both 4 under. The important question for your boy is, how are our guys doing? I saw Tony Finau had a nice round. Yep, he's -1, tracking quite well to finish in the top 20, which is what I need him to do. But I'm not feeling great about the Zan man, Xander Schauffele, 2 over in his first round. Not a great sign. I need him in the top 10. I don't like the sounds of that. I need a big number today.
So I was listening on to that. I was listening on that new, groundbreaking device. My
the radio, yeah.
My radio.
Yeah,
and
Paul's
Drew,
a big radio guy.
and Drew Forrester was on the radio promoting fairways and
Yeah,
greens.
it's his new radio show.
He, by the way, has a very different radio voice than the voice he uses on Glenn Clark Radio.
Oh, you think he's faking it a little bit? You think maybe?
I didn't recognize him at first.
Oh, boy.
But it's a good voice. But anyway, that's besides the point. He was saying that at Augusta, with the way the par fives play, that even if you were 5 over yesterday, you're still in it because all you need is 1 big round. So +2, I think you'll be okay with Schauffele.
All right, we'll see. That's
That
what
could be our
matters to
motto.
me.
We're okay with
Okay
Schauffele.
with Schauffele. It's the least inspiring election campaign of all time. It could be worse with verse. All right. So, yeah, we'll see you on Sunday in the FanDuel Sportsbook. You guys don't know this, but we're doing a draft this morning. Much like we did our lacrosse draft, I'm springing it upon you. We used to do this every year on opening day with our buddy Eric Arditi from Barstool Sports, and he still owes us the prison pizza. I'm not letting him off the hook. His schedule just got away from him this week, so I decided to drop it on you guys as a surprise. Because it's a derivative of 3, here's what I'm going to do. Cass, you're not going to draft. Instead, there maybe is more pressure on you. You're going to bet who can't lose. You're going to pick your favorite. And if that person loses, you too will have to pay the penalty. So, Jordan's not aware. But after we did Would You Rather Wednesday this week, I got a message from our buddy Tim in Bel Air who said, "Welp, I know what I'm making for your next bet." I said, "Oh?" Said, "Yep, I'll make you the 20 peanut butter cups." So the loser of this draft is going to have to consume, during the course of a show, 20 peanut butter cups.
I already don't like baked beans.
Listen to me. Peanut butter. I don't think you know what I'm talking
what
about,
is
guys.
that?
What is that?
Yeah.
what
What
Watch
is
the
that?
show.
Yeah, you guys really, honest to God, when you just fly in here 1 day a week, don't know what's going on.
She gave me a
We
look of
spent
death.
an
by the
entire
way.
day. We spent an entire day discussing the topic. So thanks. It's wonderful of you to be checking in with the program.
You know what?
And
You're right.
stand
I have
tuned.
no life. I should just.
No.
Your parents tune in when you're here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I was
This-
in classes.
This is a
Absolutely
peanut
not.
butter
Oh,
cup.
Absolutely not.
absolutely.
I'm sorry.
This
Oh.
is
I'm
a
not
peanut
eating
butter
20
cup.
of
I'd
those.
rather eat a fried tarantula.
I did not offer that. I
So who's
offered
making
peanut
it
butter
is the
cups.
question.
Tim from Bel Air is making
He's
them.
gonna make it.
Yes, he's gonna make
It's
them.
just chocolate with beans.
It's a peanut butter cup,
Peanut
but instead of
Reese's.
getting peanut
Okay,
butter,
but
you're
question.
getting baked beans.
Question.
Yes.
Can we just make it baked beans and not?
No, no,
There's no fun in that.
Cass, no.
What kind of beans?
So here's the way we're gonna go about doing
Baked
it.
beans.
Settle down.
Refried.
You'll be fine.
He said
What?
no to baked beans.
No, they're baked beans. This is what I just said.
Can it be baked beans?
Not
And you're
just
like,
plain.
no.
No. You said just plain baked beans.
Yeah.
It's
No,
got.
like in it. Like
Yes,
baked
it's
That's
just
what it
baked
is.
beans inside a chocolate cup. That's what it is.
Sounds appealing.
Ay, 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 ay,
Slightly.
ay. This is weird. Ian Rappaport says Melvin Gordon is in discussions with the Ravens on a potential deal. The Broncos starter is a person of interest in Baltimore, which still has a need at running back.
Why do we not like J.K. Dobbins?
Well, I think they still like J.K. Dobbins. I think they saw what happened last year when they only had 2 running backs and decided maybe they should have a third.
I love Melvin Gordon. He
I
makes
mean,
your team.
I was always. You know what's
love-
really funny? I think I've told the story before. I got to know Melvin Gordon briefly when he was coming out in the draft, and he desperately wanted to be drafted by the Ravens because it was when Thomas Hammock was here and was his position coach at Wisconsin. So he so badly wanted to be a Raven. It's just ironic. Hammock is gone. He's no longer here. But now he might end up being a Raven after all. We'll see. But weird. Kind of a weird name to be thrown at us.
But even if you have a Melvin Gordon in the fold, you don't need to rush back J.K. Dobbins and Gus
that's
Edwards
true.
from this injury. You can make sure they're 100% healthy so you don't have a Ronnie
Yeah,
Stanley situation.
but I also just genuinely believe it's about the. I think we keep forgetting. Is a Greg Roman offense. You're going to run the ball a billion times.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why not have as many good running backs as you possibly can? Now, Melvin Gordon, how good he is at this point,
I still think he's very good.
I think he's certainly better than the 2 guys they brought in last year.
Yeah.
I definitely think he's better than Latavius Murray or Devontae Freeman.
Devontae,
Jesus Christ.
Gone
Yikes.
but not forgotten.
Yikes.
Or something like
My
that.
bad. All right, so both of you check your email. What I have sent you, the 2 of you, Paul and Lil Jordan, what I've sent you was unfortunately, FanDuel, once you begin playing your games, they take down your win total prop. So these were the win totals before the season that were offered by our friends at FanDuel. What you're trying to do is pick a team whose final win total will be either way furthest off the listed win total that they have. So, for example, going into the year, the Dodgers are projected to have the most wins at 98.5. If you think the Dodgers are actually going to win 110 games, you would get 11.5 points by drafting the Dodgers. If the Orioles, who have 61.5 wins, if you think they're actually going to finish with 46, that would get you 15.5 points. But if you think they're going to finish with 76, that would get you 14.5 points, because it doesn't matter which way it goes. You could be terribly wrong about your guess. You could think a team is going to be far better or far worse, and if they do the other thing, you get the points anyway. The only projection is based off of how far they are away from their total. Do you understand?
Yes.
Got it? Not difficult. Loser, we're going to add up the points at the end of the year. Loser has to spend a show eating the 20 peanut butter cups. If, at the end of this, we're going to have Cass decide who she thinks cannot lose this draft. And if that person loses, she'll have to join you.
So we each just get to pick one team, or are we drafting?
Yeah.
Oh, so there may be 2.
There might be 2, yes. There might be 2. We'll talk about it. You might only have to have 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're picking from all the teams, right? Not
Yes,
just
all
one?
there's
All
30
right.
teams.
So,
We're going to
yeah.
all draft 10. We got to move this quick because we only have 15 minutes here.
Gotcha.
All right? All right. So Jordan, because I have done this before, I will give Jordan the first pick and Paul the second pick, then I'll be the snake. It's a good spot for me.
The snake in the
The
grass.
snake in the grass.
When
And
do
then
I
we'll-
come into play?
at the end, you're going to listen to who all we picked.
So
And then
but I get to pick anyone.
No. You are picking from the 3 of us. You're deciding who you're riding with, who can't lose. And if you're wrong, then you got to join that person and join the peanut butter cups. So pay attention to who we're drafting and decide who you think cannot lose. All right? Cass is nervous.
can't eat
She's so nervous.
I can't eat these beans.
We won't make you do it in season. All right? You don't have to do it in season. All right. Jordan, you got first pick.
I'll take the Mariners.
The
at 80
Mariners.
At 83.5.
Certainly a popular pick that might end up outperforming their expectations because they've got a lot of young talent. Paul,
I'm going to take the Chicago Cubs.
the Chicago Cubs, I like that pick.
74.5.
I actually have the Cubs. I'm not giving anything away, but in the next print issue of Press Box, we were asked to give some sneaky bets for the season, and I actually picked the Cubs to win the NL Central as one of my sneaky bets. I like Seiya Suzuki, big fan.
Huge
Their
fan.
rotation is sneaky good.
At the top it is.
Hendricks
it falls
was
off a
looking
little bit.
filthy yesterday.
He always looks filthy. He's a
I mean,
very good pitcher.
He's a very good
Yeah.
pitcher. I don't disagree with that whatsoever. I'm going to go with the San Diego Padres at 88.5. I know they lost last night on a walk-off. How about Seth Beer hitting a walk-off home run on National Beer Day?
That
How
call
about
was
that?
amazing.
It was tremendous. It was outstanding. But I still see all the talent there. C.J. Abrams coming on. I could see the Padres being a team that ends up outperforming that number. And, again, just looking at opportunity, I'll go with the Nationals at 69.5 because they still have Juan Soto. They still have some pitching. If they could somehow sneak their way to 79 wins, that's 9.5 points for me. Give me the Nationals. Paul.
The Toronto Blue Jays.
Toronto
I
Blue Jays.
I think they could win 103 games this year.
They're sitting at 92.5. Definitely a team that could potentially end up with Vlad Guerrero and company outperforming that number. Back to you, Jordan. 2 picks.
Tigers at 77.5.
Okay, why?
I
You just think they spent a little money? They got Spencer Torkelson?
No, I don't buy the hype, actually.
Oh, you think it's the other way?
I think it's the
you
other way.
think they could be a
around.
60-win team?
I think spending money on Javi Baez, who's a strikeout machine, is. But
okay.
And then I'll go Giants at 85.
Los Gigantes, who after a huge season last year, the betting folks not feeling them this year. 85.5 is the number. All right, Paul.
Give me the Kansas City Royals.
Okay.
Bobby
Witt feeling it?
Yeah, but I actually think they're going to go.
Oh, you go the other way?
Under.
Okay.
Because they're depending on a lot of rookie pitchers in their rotation, like a lot of guys who were top picks, but haven't proven anything. I think they're going to win 65 games this year.
The Royals are sitting at 74.5. Again, looking at opportunity. How about your beloved Mets? How about the Metropolitans sitting at 91.5? I get it. There's hype around the Mets every year. I'll say there's opportunity either way there. There's the chance that Buck is just so good that they win 100, or there's the chance that it's just hype because they're the Mets and they get hyped all the time, and it ends up going the other way. So I'll play the opportunity. And you know what? Why not I double it up and go with the Yankees at 91.5 as well? The exact same story. Paul, back to you.
Brewers, I think they suck.
Ooh, they think they have Corbin Burns. You familiar with him?
He's one guy.
He was not great last night.
He was
either.
looking shaky.
Did not look tremendous.
Their
last
average
night.
age on their roster is 97.5.
I don't believe
it's
that's
more than
true.
their win
I
total.
don't think that's accurate. 89.5 is the number for the Brewers. Jordan.
I'll go Guardians at 75.5.
Okay. Any particular reason?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No. And
Dynamite observation.
yeah.
Keep that in mind when you're deciding who it is that you're going to ride with.
Glenn,
Yeah.
you're saying teams, and I know
You don't even know.
probably-
You have no idea
No,
who they
I
are.
know them. Okay.
Where do the Guardians play? What city?
Don't ask.
There you go.
because you're-
That's what we got.
And
I'm not a big I like baseball. Don't get me wrong. I just don't watch it like that.
Don't you
I'll-
lie to me.
I'll
Cass,
go.
Cass and I were hanging out with some of the guys on the Stevenson baseball team the other. They were my favorites because they told me I looked like I was 24. I was like,
They asked me, they're
you
"Are
guys.
Glenn coming to my game? And I was like, I don't think so, buddy.
When's the game?
Saturday.
What time?
Don't even know.
Okay, I
About
think
that.
I got a lacrosse
What do
game,
you know
so-
today?
I would after their flattery, I might well decide to come to a game. All right, let's go.
And I'll go Orioles at
Ooh.
61.5. I think their hitting is actually going to be
while I hear you, who pitches?
correct. That's
This is
I'm
legit.
I would
hoping-
actually.
I'm
I think the better bet might be they go the other way and they win
I'm hoping
53.
They call up Bradish and Hall and
Well, Hall, I
Yeah.
think, and Rodriguez are going to be
get
here at some point.
So
yes. All right.
Yeah.
Again, the loser of our draft is going to have to consume 20 peanut butter cups in one sitting. Tim from Bel Air is going to help. Cass, we'll come up with a more appropriate number for you if you end up picking.
I can do it.
If
I
you
can
bet,
take it.
if you bet, oh, okay, all
10.
right.
We'll go with 10.
I can
All
do
right,
it like
yeah,
a
Not
all right.
20.
All right.
We'll do 10.
If you-
she switched up.
If
real
you
quick.
if you bet the wrong horse,
Have the Marlins been taken?
they have not been taken.
pick.
At
The
76.5. This is not a situation where you get iced if you pick somebody that's already been picked. We don't have any in the studio, or else that would have been a wonderful idea. Marlins 76.5. I'll go. They spent a bunch of money. Who knows? Still don't know what the Tejas Rangers is where I'm going next. The Rangers sitting at 74.5. That's my next pick. And then I'll play again opportunity. I'll play the Dodgers at 98.5. I know you say, well, they're probably going to win 100 games, so they might win 110. And if they do, there's 11.5 points there for me to be made at 98.5.
The Colorado Rockies.
Ooh, okay. Because you think they'll be better or worse?
I think that I don't know.
I mean, I get it.
They
They
might
also
be 7 games better. I mean,
Yeah,
or they
it's-
might be 7 games
They
worse.
spent a little money. They're a weird team to figure out during the offseason. Don't understand that. Rockies at 68.5. Jordan, 2 picks.
Cardinals.
Cardinals 84.5.
Script favors them this year.
Okay.
They're really good. Tyler O'Neill might win MVP.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
bold pick.
He's so good.
He is good. He had, 3-run homer yesterday?
He had
Yeah,
5
he had
RBIs
5,
yesterday.
yeah.
Look at that.
And then the Reds. Have the Reds been taken?
The Reds have not been selected.
Reds at 73.5.
73.5 for the Reds, who traded everybody away this offseason and perhaps could bottom out and win 61 games. Paul.
Oakland Athletics.
The Oakland Athletics at 69.5. You think that it's just sort of the thing where the Athletics always surprise everyone?
No, I think they're going to win 52
'Cause
games
they have
this
nothing.
year.
They
Yeah,
just- they got rid
they're
of-
so bad.
There's no Bassett. There's no Manea. I genuinely don't know who plays for the Athletics at this point. Oh, I just deleted the wrong team. Whoever I just deleted was not the Athletics. Oh, damn it. Okay, I'm good. I'm back to being good. All right, I'll go. I hate saying it, but the Red Sox, 85.5. There's always a chance they figure out a way to win more like 95, so I'll pick them. And I will pick. I'll ride with the theory that the Angels at some point have to figure out a way to be good, and I'll go with the Angels at 83.5 as my next pick.
Flip, Philadelphia.
Like it. 86.5 is the number for the Phillies. Jordan.
I'll go Braves. Have they been taken?
They have not been selected, the defending World Series champions.
Braves at 91.
91.5.
See, I look
That
at
number just seems right to me.
I look at some of these teams. I'm just like, that's what they're gonna win.
Right.
You know?
Well, there's a reason. FanDuel knows what they're doing. There's a reason. There's 2 rounds left. So your next pick, Jordan.
I'll go with the White Sox.
White
I
Sox,
guess.
92.5. All right, Paul, penultimate pick.
The Pirates.
The Pittsburgh Pirates at 64.5. My final selections in the draft. God, I don't know. These aren't.
Yeah.
Maybe the Diamondbacks, after they won a game last night, have a couple more wins in them than we
Just
thought.
a couple.
I mean, I don't see it. And they also could end up winning 57, and if that's the case, I get a bunch of points because they're sitting at 66.5. And I will go with the Astros could be a team that could win 100, and they're sitting at 92.5. So I'll go with the Astros as my final pick.
In honor of my twin sisters, I will take the Minnesota
Oh,
Twins
look
with
at
my
you.
last pick.
I don't think I knew you had twin sisters.
Yep, they are 40.
How about that? I'm not sure they love the fact that you would tell us that. They might prefer if you didn't. And that gives little Jordan the raise at 89.5. That was the first thing you thought to tell us about your twin sister.
Well, I
You
mean,
could have told us anything.
You know,
they're lovely people. They work as a doctor and a lawyer. Like that.
Andrea's a nurse and she's getting her master's. and April does titles for key title.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
April used to be the general manager of a very popular pub
Oh, okay.
in Bel Air near College Park, Perry Hall.
Yes, I'm familiar with it's Zuni's. Zuni's pub.
She was a GM of Zuni's.
Fan of that place. It was just interesting to me. The first thing you thought to share was their age.
What idiots! They're 40. Who gets
Yeah,
that old?
What's that all about? Losers. All right, very good. That's our draft. Now, Cass, the pressure is on you. I will allow you to look over the list one time if you would like, and you decide who can't lose our draft. And if they don't, remember, because there's one individual loser, whoever has the fewest points. By the way, for the record, if there is a tie, and there's never been a tie in the history of this draft, but if there is a tie, whoever has the single biggest point total for one team will be the winner of those two, and the other person will be the loser. So you decide who you're riding with, who you say, I am counting. Look, this man is wearing a baseball jersey, going to a baseball game today. Paul, decked out in his baseball gear, hosts a baseball show. I'm, of course, wearing the gear from when I was on the USA curling team a couple years ago.
First alternate.
You know, have any
Okay.
idea how many times I've been able to pull that off at bars?
Does
I'm a
Mrs.
Olympic
Clark
curler.
know about
Yeah,
that?
I'm an Olympic curler.
That's how we got Mrs. Clark.
Yeah, correct. She was really impressed.
Okay.
Cass, who can't lose?
Okay. Glenn, you're out. I can't choose you.
Oh, damn.
Dang.
That was
Wow,
rough.
that was
I just,
quick.
like,
I always there is some. Cass is a
No,
wonderful teammate,
no,
except to me.
stop. You keep saying that.
These
It's not-
baseball players the other night were like, "You look like you're 24." Cass like, "You look 100.
I didn't
He's so old."
I said 105.
Yeah,
Come
right.
on.
Thanks.
You seemed very doubtful in some years. You were like,
Well, it's a very difficult
"We'll
thing to
just go
do.
with the Diamonds.
But
I'm
how
like,
do-
oh,
The
okay.
Diamonds. That's my
Diamondbacks, whatever.
favorite
I
team, the
know
Neil
them.
Diamonds.
I know what they are.
Look out! We're coming to America.
Okay, you know what? I have.
It's actually
faith
Jack
in
Black, Steve
Paul.
Zahn, and Jason Biggs
I
who
knew
play
it.
for the
I'm going
team.
with Paul.
I knew
Paul,
it.
you're riding with
I'm
boy. He is the host
Paul.
of the Bat Around.
I knew-
I trust him.
All right, so
It's because I
Cass.
can read her in
Oh,
did
that's
this really
right.
happen? She
So
knows.
you understand, if Paul loses, that means you two
we're
are
gonna win.
a loser. All right, and you
Yeah.
will have to consume an additional 10 peanut butter cups.
Another Jason Biggs film.
All right, what?
A
A loser. That's right. Not bad. Not bad. Well played. We are going heavy on Jason Biggs this morning. Coming in here! Ah!
Yeah.
Guys, put Saving Silverman on your list, too.
Oh my God, watch it.
One of the most important
You
films.
might pee laughing.
Just give
God
me and Jordan
damn.
like a list of.
You know what? Maybe one weekend we'll just have like a powwow. We'll like have like a
I'm so down for
a
that.
family sleepover or something. I don't know how that'll work because now we got to think about what the rules are to those things.
I don't trust
But we'll
Jordan near
figure-
my sleeping bag.
Yeah, we'll figure out a way. We'll do something in order to watch all these films that we need to watch. All right, so that's the deal. Paul, you're going to post this at glennclarkradio.com, the results of our draft. You'll find last year's draft. You can use that as a shell. And the loser of this one will consume 20 peanut butter cups. When we come back in, a person far more important than us is here with us in studio. He is Baltimore Police Commissioner. Yeah, Jordan, you might want to hide. You might want to maybe go like, you might want to run that way as quickly as possible. Baltimore Police Commissioner Michael Harrison is going to join us in studio ahead of opening day. Today's show is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
That first sip. That first bite. Start your day off right with a delicious breakfast at Royal Farms. Choose from a fantastic selection of fresh Royal Farms breakfast sandwiches and top it off with a rich hot cup of the freshest coffee in the world. At Royal Farms, breakfast is available day and night. It's the freshest breakfast in the world. Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
Answering Baltimore's calls for help, running in when others run away, working together toward one shared vision for a thriving city. That's your Baltimore Police. But the department needs more good people, people like you. Join a proud new generation of Baltimore Police and make an active difference in your community. Start with competitive wages and excellent benefits on day one. Join for good at bpdrecruit.org.
Sports betting has come to Maryland, and we're ready to help you win some money. Tune in for Simply the Bets with Glenn Clark and Paul Valley every Tuesday morning at 11:40. FanDuel Sportsbook GM Bruce Billick and VSiN's Aaron Oster join the guys every week to give you all of the info you need and even a few winners. So come win some money with us on Simply the Bets every Tuesday at 11:40 a.m. Brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Listen at PressBoxOnline.com/radio. Watch at YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline.
Come in for Glory Burgers, Glory Wings. There's glory for everyone at Glory Days Grill. Enjoy the award-winning burgers, ribs, and wings, or try our fresh salads, hand-cut salmon, or our scrumptious sandwiches. Yum! Come in for daily specials every weekday, like $7.99 burgers on Mondays, $6.99 nachos on Thursdays, and Taco Tuesdays. And watch all of your favorite games at Glory Days Grill with 25 screens and private speakers at every table, plus game day drink specials. Visit us at glorydaysgrill.com for a location near you. Glory Days Grill. Great food, good sports.
Baseball is back. I'm Paul Valley.
And I'm Zach Goodman.
You can find us live every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon talking all things Orioles and Major League Baseball.
Like the debuts of Adley Rutschman and Grayson Rodriguez.
And how the rotation and bullpen are rounding into form. Watch us live at youtube.com/PressBoxOnline and facebook.com/PressBoxSports.
Or you can listen at PressBoxOnline.com/radio.
That's the Bat Around, live with the latest in baseball coverage every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
We can't imagine why you'd want to, but you can watch GCR live. It's at facebook.com/PressBoxSports and try to guess whether these guys are wearing any pants.
All right, back in here on GCR. Yeah, we definitely wore pants today. We chose today would be an appropriate day to make sure that we were wearing pants. Joining us in studio here in a Friday edition of the program, he is the commissioner of the Baltimore Police. He is Commissioner Mike Harrison. He's with us here at GCR. It's good to see you, Mr. Commissioner. Thank you for stopping by.
Good morning to all of you, and good morning to your listening audience. Thank you for having me.
We've spent the commercial break. He's been regaling us about I am a New Orleans fanatic. Like, there is no city. I love our city. I want to make that abundantly clear. I love our city. I tried moving away once. I ended up coming back. This is home. But my favorite city in the country is down that way. It is down that way. I love that place.
Born and raised, I love it, but I'm happy to be here. This is my new place.
All right. That being said, you were telling me about so you swear by
Oceana Grill.
Okay.
So when you go to Oceana Grill.
Because the Ravens are back on the road in New Orleans this year. So there's going to be a lot of people making the trip this year back down to New Orleans. It is, I would say, the most of course, the Ravens won the Super Bowl in New Orleans a few years back. Was an incredible week, one of the best weeks of my life, particularly because I got to hang out on stage with Stevie Wonder the night before the Super Bowl. That's a story for another day. It's one of the most popular road trips. Every time the Ravens go to New Orleans, it feels like there's 40,000 Ravens fans that go with them. So you're telling everybody who's planning on making the trip, you got to go to Oceana.
You got to go to Oceana. I have a favorite dish, and I'll be quick about it. It's the blackened duck, topped with a fried soft shell crab, topped with blackened alligator.
Well, that's all?
Topped with crawfish sauce. So,
there's more.
Yeah, so that's my favorite dish. Try it.
That's one meal.
That's 3 meals in one.
Okay. I was going to say, I don't know if I can. I mean, my God, that sounds incredible. That's the play. If you're down in New Orleans with the Ravens this fall, we don't know the date yet because we're still waiting on the schedule, but you got to stop by Oceana Grill.
Absolutely.
All right. Very, very good. We will file that away. We will file it away. Commissioner, I know you are on the search for some more folks to join you guys, and it's something that regularly people talk about in relationship to the police. Is hey, we could use you. If you want to help, come help us. You want to improve things, you want to make things better for the community, come join us. Tell us about right now the need that you have for people to come join your unit.
It's a big need. We're in need of about 370 officers. That's what the amount of vacancies for sworn police. We're budgeted for 2,638. We're slightly above 2,200. So we need police officers. So anyone who feels the need to serve, anyone who feels like they want to be a part of a solution, the improvement to Baltimore Police Department and the city we love and live in, here's your opportunity. Come and join us. And go to baltimorepolice.org, and you can do everything right there online, and everything's right there set up for you.
Do you need people with what kind of experience are you looking for?
Well,
Does it need to be?
You have to be 21 years old. You have to have, we're looking for people who have a clean history. But there's some ways we can work around some very minor things. But we're looking for people who have the right temperament, people who have the calling, if you will, to serve, rather than to be served. But those who want to help be a part of the improvement of our city, the evolution of our police department, this new way of thinking about policing as a profession, away with the old way of thinking.
What does that mean? Can I just pause the Commissioner? What does that mean? The new way of thinking.
So we used to think about this very militaristic view, and when you looked at the police advertisements, you saw guns, you saw motorcycles, helicopters, big vehicles. Now it is really about the humanistic side. We want to see people who have the right temperament, who are connected to communities, who have a desire to help people. And it's not the military warrior syndrome or mentality, rather the guardian.
No question.
Approach, the guardians of our community. And while we will always have the opportunity and the need to go and find and arrest people who commit harm, we will always have to do that. It doesn't mean we won't do that. We're really looking for people who have the will and the capacity to come and problem solve in their communities.
So I feel like the word help is important here.
Help is the key fundamental word.
I think we talked a lot about sometimes police are called in mental health crises, right? Like that's somewhere you need somebody who can handle a situation like that.
We need people who can handle that, although there is a movement nationally and here in Baltimore to move police away from those kinds of calls unless it is absolutely necessary, that being there's some type of violence information about the call, or we believe weapons are involved and it requires police. But really, across the country and here in Baltimore, we're working to reduce the need and reduce the burdens on police officers to respond to everything, even the things we were never really called to and trained to handle, like mental illness and addiction and homelessness, because those are for other people who have a special expertise and training in those areas. And it would be better suited for police to deal with crime.
I mean, it seems simple enough, right? It seems like something that we should be able to figure out a little bit as we are. If we've got a website, I know, bpdrecruit.org. That's where you want people to go if they're interested in even just learning more about joining the Baltimore Police.
You want to learn more about joining our ranks, or if you are actively looking for employment with the police department, we ask you to take a look at the Baltimore Police Department with this past year's legislation and with our new contract that we just agreed to with our local FOP union. We are the highest paid police department in the state.
Okay.
And we have educational incentives on top of that. We have shift differential incentives on top of that. And there are so many different incentives that while it starts now at $60,000, new officers can make above 70 depending on what you bring to the table.
Okay.
So we are the highest paid in the state, and we invite you to take a look at us, the most progressive, the agency that has taken on reform more robustly and faster than any other city in America. And so we are the 21st century police department, and we are the department that other departments are now aiming to be like.
Commissioner Mike Harrison of the Baltimore Police is in studio with us here on Glenn Clark Radio. Commissioner, we're on the cusp of opening day, of course, here in Baltimore. The Orioles are starting on the road this weekend, but come Monday, it's going to be a huge party scene, obviously, here in town. For folks like my young intern, Lil Jordan, who might be intending to spend opening day bellying up to every bar here in town, what advice might you have for baseball fans about how you can, enjoy opening day? Celebrate, but maybe, not do the things you're not supposed to be doing and end up having the day take a turn at some point.
The thing is, enjoy yourself, but it also is about being responsible. Knowing your limit.
Write this down, Jordan. Write this down.
Knowing your limit and staying within that limit.
Know your limit.
And then secondly, make plans.
Yeah.
Plan to have a transportation there. Plan to have transportation back home. By all means, if you're enjoying an adult beverages, don't drink and drive. But make plans to find a way home, and make sure if you're driving and you're parking, you remember where you park. You're paying attention to your surroundings so that you can go straight to your car. But we want to make sure people enjoy themselves, but enjoy responsibly and know your limit and stay within your limit. Have a designated driver and make plans, if you don't, to get home safely without that designated driver.
Maybe get a hotel room downtown. Maybe,
that's a great alternative.
Might be a good idea for the day. You can deal with it the next day. Like, that's maybe just a smart decision to make now.
A smart decision. And we're going to have police all over. We have our police, we have transportation, we have state police, school police. We have, in federal agencies, we have a number of people to make sure it's safe at our sporting events. And so if you really, find yourself in a tough position, find one of us and ask for help, and we'll be happy to help you.
Wow, that's a powerful statement, right? I think a lot of people would say, if I'm inebriated, I don't want to approach a police officer because I think I'm about to be thrown in a drunk tank.
Well, the most mature thing you can do is admit that you need help. And if you do that in a responsible way, I guarantee we will be there to find the help that you need.
That's powerful. That's a powerful statement. Commissioner, you reference safety, and I'm sure you hear this more often than even I do, but constantly I hear people who say to me, I don't really like going downtown for games anymore. Or events at all. I don't feel safe. I don't think I'm safe. They hear about carjackings being up. They read a story somewhere, and they just say to themselves, I don't want to do that. I want to approach this from a two-pronged. How much of the problem that you face in your role is reality? How much of it is perception? And how do you go about addressing both?
Well, crime, first of all, crime is real, and there are crimes that happen, but then there's the perception of crime, how people perceive it, and it's usually people who are not the victims of crime who have an idea or a perception of what the crime is in a particular area. We have not had, even when we were pre-COVID, we did not have major crime incidents of people attending sporting events. While there are incidents that happen everywhere, and certainly in downtown is no exception, we have a robust deployment strategy to make sure people can come into the area of the stadium and leave the area of the stadium and enjoy their game while they're there. So there's high visibility, there's traffic flow, there's patrol in and around the area. And so we've not had incidents like that for game goers. And the perception is that what happens on the news that you hear about will happen on game day. That is not the case. It's a very different situation, and we admonish you to come and enjoy yourselves. We have a great deployment strategy for protection and visibility and for traffic control, and it is not what you think it is. So there is an issue of the perception of crime. It is all about us having a good communications strategy to overcome people's perceptions of what crime is and what crime is not. And while there's crime in Baltimore, it is not everywhere, and it is not all the time, and it is not at the same time.
So that being said, there is crime in Baltimore, of course, right? This does and I bring that up in part because somebody might say, hey, I really like, if I was coming downtown, I'd really like to be able to, walk elsewhere, walk over to Little Italy, go get dinner, and come back over, and I just hear stories, and we know, unfortunately, there were very highly publicized tragic killings during the course of this year. How do we go about that side of it, the side that's real? How do we continue to? I know we can't, as much as we want to, we'll never be able to eradicate crime, and I wish we could. My God, what a utopian society we would live in. But how do we continue to go about making everywhere in the city safer?
Well, two things. First thing is, many people culturally in Baltimore, when they say crime, they really mean murder.
Mm-hmm.
They use the words interchangeably. They don't mean all crime.
That's fair.
They
Yep,
really just
sure.
mean murder or shootings. Murder and shootings usually happen between 80 to 85% people who know one another or know of one another. It usually doesn't happen indiscriminately or randomly to people who don't know you or who you don't know. Crimes of opportunity, like robberies, burglaries, car thefts, happen indiscriminately and randomly almost everywhere. And so it is about being safe. It is about knowing your surroundings. It's about taking the necessary precautions to park safely, to walk safely. But we have, we arrest and catch many of these people. Not all of them, but many of them. And the police are out there to make sure we can prevent as much as we can. And so the perception that violent crime like murder and shootings happen everywhere and people are afraid of that, by and large, it's between people who know one another. I wouldn't say people who are involved in crime because it's not always that, but it is usually something there at the core that ties those individuals together. Your average tourist, visitor to the city, someone going to a game does not factor into that. And we have not had any of those cases to game goers in any of our sporting events here in the city.
It's very interesting. And I know somebody would hear that and say, hey, we'd like to fix those other things too. Of course, right. But it's just germane to the conversation. Commissioner Mike Harrison is with us here in studio. Commissioner, you brought up, I think you were alluding to the defund the police movement, right? And the perception of police, particularly within the black community in our country. Have you created relationships, reached out to any prominent athletes in the area in an attempt to help with the image of the police and the things that you're talking about? Hey, we're here to help. We're trying to bridge the gap and improve relationships between the community and the police.
Well, I have not had success, getting individuals. I would love to absolutely have our professional athletes, professional coaches from these teams to help with our image and to help us recruit and to help do all the things to show that we all love Baltimore because our athletes wear the uniform and represent Baltimore. Well, guess what? We wear a uniform representing Baltimore, so we're all about the same thing. What I can say that there are foundations that are helping, especially here in the Southern District, in and around our stadium to give food to kids, bring food to schools because of food deserts and So we're doing that.
I know Bradley and Nikki Bozeman were very involved
They're
with.
very involved with the Bozeman Foundation to helping us to do that, change our image again to the Guardian model, where we are caring about our community, not just enforcing the laws.
Commissioner, if I could ask you to get a little bit closer to the microphone. I apologize.
Absolutely.
I want to make sure everybody's hearing your message.
Absolutely. But look, we are out there every single day, and we would love to partner with the Orioles and with all of our sports teams to make sure they can help us with our image, they can help us recruit, but we all share the same goal. We want to have a winning team, and we want to represent Baltimore in the best light. And so to the extent that anyone wants to do that, I am here, my office is open, and I will go anywhere to meet anyone to accomplish that.
Were you an athlete at all?
I was an athlete, but I was more of a musician.
Okay.
Not an athlete.
Okay.
So
it's like, isn't that a rule like down in Louisiana? Like everybody's you have to be able to like line up in a first line, right?
You have to play music, or you have to be able to sing, or you have to be able to dance to it.
Right.
If you can't play, you can't sing, you better be able to dance.
There is nothing. The biggest party in New Orleans is a funeral. It's just the most amazing thing that you'll ever see in your life. So were you a sports fan? Like
I was, and I still am.
Okay.
I'm a sports fan. I'm still a Saints fan, although I don't live there. But I'm a big Ravens and Orioles fan. Now that I'm here, because I love sports.
I mean, so you like if this season the Ravens are playing the Saints, what does that look like in your life?
Well, if the Ravens play the Saints in Baltimore, and I'm living in Baltimore.
Yeah, then you're okay. Fair enough. We'll take that.
I don't live in New Orleans.
We'll take
anymore.
that. We'll take
So
that.
I live in Baltimore.
We'll take that. That's good enough for us. We will take that. I wanted to give you a chance. I was thinking about everything you guys have been through over the course of the last year, and Kiana Holly's name came to mind. And I think that a lot of people are familiar with Kiana's story, but maybe only recognize her as the police officer that died in the line of duty and don't know about her, the person, don't know about what she meant to the city. And I wanted to give you that opportunity to tell people about Kiana. We talk about her as a hero, and there's no doubt that that's true, but what do we need to know about her as a human beyond just someone who ended up paying the ultimate sacrifice?
Oh, thank you for that. I think the Orioles are going to be honoring her at opening game.
It's wonderful.
Very important. We say thank you for that. She was a mother, mother of four, and she joined the police department after trying other careers late in life, in her 40s, and was only with us for a short while. So that speaks volume, that she would, a little bit older than your normal 21-year-old, would decide to take on this profession, and was very loving and was community-oriented and tied to the community, and was always participating in something to help and better her community, working and volunteering at rec centers. I met her pastor at her church, who said she was very involved in ministry in her church.
Wow.
And was working to become ordained in her own church.
Wow.
And so those are things most people didn't know about Officer Holly. That made her more than just a police officer, but a great person, a great human being, a great resident and citizen of Baltimore.
What did it mean to you to see the outpouring of support for?
It's both heartbreaking and proud.
Mm-hmm.
It's heartbreaking to see us lose such a great resident and police officer and citizen person, but then proud to see the outpouring, And I delivered boxes upon boxes of cards and letters to her mother and her oldest daughter, and her sister, who came to my office just a couple of weeks ago. And we got cards and letters and gifts from around the country, even around the world, that were addressed, some to me, some to them, but I gave them all to them. Hundreds. And the outpouring of support was overwhelming. It was heartwarming, and we're certainly grateful. And on behalf of that family, let me just say thank you to everybody who showed support for the Kiana family.
Some powerful images of everybody crowding the overpasses on the highway for them. I mean, it was just it was a really powerful thing, and it's a terrible thing. There's no question about it. It's a terrible thing, but
Tragedy.
Powerful response.
Yes.
Okay, now we remind people you need help. You need folks to help be invested in our city, and I think a lot of people want to stay on the sidelines and they want to just say, "Oh, the city's going to hell." You need people to step up and say, we want to take on the responsibility of trying to improve this place.
If you are anointed to see the problem, it is your responsibility to help us fix that problem.
Yep.
And so I invite anyone who wants to be part of a solution, part of problem solving, part of the evolution of the profession, changing for the better. look at Baltimore Police. We're the highest paid. We're with one of the best equipped. We're leading in reform. We're leading in technology improvements. We invite you to come take a look at us. I promise you, you'll find us light years ahead of many other departments, and we welcome you joining our ranks.
bpdrecruit.org is the website, bpdrecruit.org, if you want to find out more and join the force and try to help improve things in your hometown and sort of be the change, if you will, that you're looking to see in this city. Commissioner Mike, is there a social? Is there, Amanda, can I plug a social account at Baltimore Police? Is that what I should plug? I believe I guess we should have prepared that ahead of time. Instead of this is the commissioner of police is like, I got bigger things to worry about today. I can't be updating social and worrying about things. They haven't figured out a way to get you on TikTok yet, have they?
Not yet.
Oh,
I'm sure somebody's thinking, but not yet.
I have avoided it myself, too.
Yeah.
I have completely avoided it altogether. I feel like at a certain age, you just say, whatever socials I'm on, those are the ones I'm going to be on. There's not going to be any more at that point in your life. It's not going to work that way. Facebook, Twitter. I know it's at Baltimore Police on Twitter. It's the best way to go about doing it. What's that? LinkedIn as well, in order to find you. All right, Commissioner Mike Harrison, it is really great to meet you. Great to spend some time with you. We root for you.
I appreciate that.
We root for what you're doing for the city. May things continue to improve. May we not have any more conversations where we're talking about perception, because perception continues to improve in the coming years.
Let me know when you want me back. I'm happy to come back.
We'd love
Thank you so
we'd
much.
love to have you back in. Thank you so much, Commissioner.
All right. Take care.
That's Commissioner Mike Harrison. Again, bpdrecruit.org in order to find out more. We got lots more to do on a Friday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. Sports fans, the wait is over. The all-new FanDuel Sportsbook is now open at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover, Maryland. This is your chance to win big right in your own backyard. Bet on every sport with self-service kiosks and watch all of the action from the best seat in the house. Make every moment more at the all-new FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit mdgamblinghelp.org.
The newest edition of PressBox is available now. On the cover, we celebrate the 20th anniversary of Maryland men's basketball's 2002 NCAA Tournament Championship, as Gary Williams reflects on how the program rose from the ashes of NCAA sanctions to the pinnacle of the sport, and why his perspective of the title run has changed now 2 decades later. Plus, Juan Dixon, Lonnie Baxter, and the rest of the team relive the moments that ultimately led them to cutting down the nets in Atlanta. PressBox is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores. And you can always find the entire edition, as well as the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
Answering Baltimore's calls for help, running in when others run away, working together toward one shared vision for a thriving city. That's your Baltimore Police. But the department needs more good people, people like you. Join a proud new generation of Baltimore Police and make an active difference in your community. Start with competitive wages and excellent benefits on day one. Join for good at bpdrecruit.org.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Stan the Fan here, welcoming back one of my favorite sponsors, the Costas Inn. And everybody around Baltimore knows the Costas Inn is a great place to go and grab crabs, steaks, salads, soups, whatever's on your mind to eat in person. But did you know that the Costas Inn has upped their game? They are now one of the premier takeout places in Baltimore. Give them a call now to order your food, 410-477-1975. That's the Costas Inn over 4100 North Point Boulevard.
The biggest pro wrestling stars today and all time all have one thing in common. You've heard them on Jobbing Out.
Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks.
Thanks for having us, man. Appreciate it.
The great Kurt Angle.
Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Matt Riddle.
Yeah, man. Thanks, man.
The champ, Drew McIntyre.
Oh, thank you for having me.
The great Ron Simmons.
Damn.
Keith Lee.
Appreciate you guys having me, man.
Bill Goldberg.
My pleasure.
Charlotte.
Thank you so much for having me.
Mick Foley is with us.
This is the greatest name for a wrestling show I've ever heard.
MJF.
I'm glad you're happy I'm on this show because I'm freaking miserable.
Le
champion.
Chris Jericho.
Le champion.
AJ, Aaron, Brandon, and Glenn are talking pro wrestling every week on Jobbing Out. Find it at PressBoxOnline.com/radio, iTunes, and SoundCloud.
Stay tuned. Your chance to win $1 million is coming up. Probably not from us. You're listening to Glenn Clark Radio.
All right, thanks again to Commissioner Mike Harrison from the Baltimore Police for stopping by and spending some time with us this morning. Coming up in a few minutes, Delante Desouza from the HBO show Winning Time. He's playing Michael Cooper. This show all about the Showtime Lakers. If you're not watching it, you're an insane person. It's the best television program that exists at the moment. Looking forward to that conversation here in a bit. Today's show is also brought to you by Glory Days Grill. It is the first week of baseball season, and between now and Sunday, you can stop by your neighborhood Glory Days Grill and enjoy a delicious danker dog. It is a fully loaded chili cheese dog, and they'll throw in fries for just $8.99. Yeah, sounds pretty good, huh? Sounds like you might need to stop by Glory Days Grill. GloryDaysGrill.com. Again, fully loaded chili cheese dog and fries, just $8.99 now through Sunday to celebrate the start of baseball season. We'll see you at your neighborhood Glory Days Grill. A couple of things. One, I'm not going to pretend I made the joke on Twitter. It's not a joke. There were 4, I believe was the number, 4 players that were announced as part of the Orioles opening day 28-man roster that I said to myself, I legitimately have no clue who this person is. And when I say no clue, I mean legitimately, I could not tell you with my life on the line who CNL Perez is, where he came from. I couldn't tell you what he does for a living. I am to understand he's a right-handed reliever. I don't know what that is.
I think he's a left-handed reliever.
He is a left-handed reliever. I don't know why I said that.
He didn't give up a single run in 5 or 6 appearances this spring.
Wonderful. Where did he come from?
I think he was on the Rangers at one point.
I think he was.
How did he end up being an Oriole?
He was either a waiver claim or a free agent minor league signing, but he's here and he's in the bullpen.
Sure he is.
And you wonder why I'm not as excited this year for opening day as I usually am.
Joey Kriebel. Was he?
Yeah,
was he on the
was here in
team?
September last year.
Sure he
I don't
was.
remember
him. Crable, if you say so. The idea that I was watching games in September. Why
was I? I don't know.
Where did he come from?
Didn't he pitch for Tampa Bay?
If you're telling me, dog.
You know who I'm excited for? Felix Bautista.
Well, I know who Felix Bautista is. We've seen that he can. Not Jose Bautista, very different guy. I loved Jose Bautista. I don't care how much you guys. I know everyone did. I loved it. I couldn't get enough of the bat flip. He was the most electric player to watch.
Anthony Bemboom.
We'll get to him one at a time. All right, one at a time. Guys I'd never heard of. He pitched for the Diamondbacks in 2018. He did pitch briefly for the Rays last year before he came to the Orioles. He was claimed off of waivers on September 20th. It wasn't even that he was here for September. He was here for a week. He was here.
And he wasn't good.
Sure, I'll believe you because I sure as F do not remember. There's no debate about that. Yes, as Lil Jordan points out, what is an Anthony Bemboom? And where did that come
backup
from?
left-handed hitting catcher.
But I can see on the roster that he's a catcher. Where? Why? How?
Knowledge.
What? All of the.
He's a catcher. I don't know where he played before.
I mean, like these.
He was a minor league signing this offseason. He had to be added to the 40-man roster to be on the opening day roster.
Anthony Bemboom has made appearances with the Tampa Bay Rays and the Los Angeles Angels apparently during his career. He was with the Rays. In fact, his Wikipedia picture is a picture of himself. It appears to be at Camden Yards. Oh nope, take it back. That's him playing for the Salt Lake Bees. They just happen to have a very similar. They have green seats and they have a whole situation that looks like Camden Yards. Played for the Angels in 1921.
He was a first-round pick in 2016.
Sure he was. In 2020, he had a 41% caught stealing rate. So
very good defensively. The bat's just not.
Got that going for us.
Great.
Got that going for us with Anthony Bemboom. I can't tell if Brian Baker. Should I know who Brian Baker is, or is it just that he has a name that's so normal that, like, I think he's someone else, and so maybe I've heard of him. I can't figure out if I actually know who Brian Baker is or not.
I didn't know who he was.
All right, good. Make it 4. Make it 4. 4 guys on the roster who I legitimately had no thought of
He
whatsoever.
has played in 1 career game.
Okay.
With the Blue Jays last year.
Oh, that was probably.
He pitched 1 inning, gave
Uh-huh.
up 1 hit, struck out 1 batter.
We're on. It's on, baby. It's on. Brian Baker's here.
Closing opportunities in the
Bakes.
Grapefruit League this year.
Uh-huh. And what does that mean? What is that supposed to?
Maybe he's their closer.
Oh, you think he could be the closer? Oh God.
Since Wells is in the rotation, Tanner Scott plays for the Marlins.
All right. Those are the 4. Those are the 4 names I knew zero about. Nothing. Not a single thing about those 4 guys.
On a positive note,
Uh-huh.
Norfolk's looking really nice.
Great. Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate
There you
that.
go.
Yeah, Yusniel Diaz is hitting home runs, so they got that going for him, which
Like
is nice.
417. Jemai Jones hitting 465.
It's wonderful. 3 games. I mean, like, settle down. Keep it in your pants, okay?
3 games last year with the Orioles before we could settle down.
Got to get excited about something.
Something. Fine. Orioles lineup is out for tonight. Cedric Mullins, Ryan Mountcastle at first base, Trey Mancini's DHing, Austin Hayes, your cleanup hitter in right field. That means Anthony Santander is playing left field. Okay, Ramon Urias at the second base, Jorge Mateo at short, Robinson Chirinos behind the plate, and Kelvin Gutierrez at third base.
Seems crazy to me that they would put Santander in left field and Hayes in right field when they both
with the-
played opposite all spring.
Hey, man, I don't have the answers. That's for somebody else to address.
Mateo's going to win MVP of the team.
Right,
by
because
the
he's
end of
on
the
your
year.
fantasy team now. Because
30,
we made that call.
30,
we made
30.
that call. You and
John
I.
Means going 25 games.
All right, there's a good. That's ahead of opening day. That's about the extent of the Orioles conversation that I have for you today. Why don't we go ahead and knock out Did This Really Happen before we chat with Delante Desouza? Why don't we go ahead and do that? Did This Really Happen is brought to you today. Actually, it's not brought to you by anybody, but a quick reminder that you should know the risks and have a plan before you start gambling. You're going to think this through, make some good decisions. We're glad that it's legal now, but we want you to make smart decisions. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER or go to helpmygambling.problem.org. All right, Papa Cass. I have been slumping. I might need to wear the golden thong or something to bust out of this slump. I need to get this one right. What do you have for us this week?
Okay, so.
We need to slide that microphone closer to you.
Speak up.
Okay, so a teenager in India.
You might need to turn her up, too. Go ahead.
Okay, so a teenager in India was using his smartphone to watch porn.
Oh.
And his father didn't approve.
Okay.
To, fix the situation.
What are you pretending like Jordan was the teenager?
It was me.
Were you in India recently? Are you?
Well, he has both hands, so.
Oh, God.
He chopped his son's hand off.
Oh.
So Muhammad, a professional butcher, was arrested on March 6th of 2018 in India for cutting off his son's hand after he had warned him to stop watching pornography on his phone. The incident began on Sunday, March 4th, 2018, when he found his 18-year-old son, Samesh, using his smartphone to watch porn. After being caught red-handed, he attempted to grab the device from his son, but the two got into a bit of a scuffle, and he then bit his father's hand before fleeing their home.
Yikes.
It's a lot of hand.
Yeah, right? Why is it
Yeah,
hands?
I'm not really sure.
Caught him red-handed.
And where did this come from? What is the source for this story?
Couldn't tell you.
This could enter into an all-new territory of did this really happen?
Mm-hmm.
Which is you find a story, you allege that it really happened, and we find out the source isn't reputable and it didn't actually really happen. This could end up
Thing to lie about.
this is a real...
Who knows? Anyway, it says that he reportedly given his son multiple warnings about his son's constant use and porn addiction. The escalating argument raged him and led him to chop off his son's right hand with a butcher knife, cutting between the wrist and the elbow. It is unclear whether he did it in the midst of the argument or later on in the night while he was sleeping.
And you can't tell us the source.
I don't know the source. Don't go looking anything
I'm
up.
not looking anything up. I got my email up.
I don't
Settle
wanna
down
hear-
over there.
All right, happy fingers.
I got an
This is
you
fake.
can. Hello, Gmail. It's fake, Paul says. Jordan.
This is definitely fake.
I was waiting to see what you said.
I think he cut the hand off, but I don't think it was for porn.
I'm gonna go with the fact. True.
I'm leaning towards true.
It's just the fact that you don't know the source.
The problem is, Paul's been red hot in this department.
Yeah.
Paul has been
on a roll.
He's been exceptional of late.
I don't know what Paul I don't know what's going on, but he can read me really well. It's kind of scary.
I knew she was going to pick me in the MLB draft order.
It's true.
Before we even did this.
Besties.
True.
I'm going to go true as well. But I am really concerned about the fact that you can't tell us the source.
Me as well.
I'm sticking with true.
It's true.
Yeah! Suck it, Valley! Suck it! Actually, that means, unfortunately, that you lost, Cass. I got bad news. 'cause
I don't
both-
care.
Both Jordan and I got
I'm so happy. I'm okay with you two
Oh,
getting
okay,
it.
you're glad that Paul
I
finally didn't
defeated
get
Paul.
it? Finally, after like
My
8
dad
weeks
was
in a
like,
row.
My dad literally was like, bring sunglasses. I don't care.
Wow,
He was like,
poker
"We are
face.
beating
Jeez.
Paul."
Whoa. So what you literally you don't know the source?
No, I could look it up. I saw it. I just didn't put it in there.
Okay, can we make sure that we do that?
No, it's real. I just
I
didn't.
know, just for future weeks, can we make sure that we have the source available? It just it's helpful. Or if you're making it up, make up a source.
I'm not making it
No, not
up.
this one. In future weeks, if you're making something up.
But see,
have
that
a
was the
source.
thing is I was trying to
Mess with us a
mess
little
with you
bit,
guys a
and
little bit.
that I had to think that through a little bit. It did require me an extra amount
Exactly,
of
it's
thought
just
in the
a story.
process.
He did it while he was sleeping.
But what's the source?
And the source is ndtv.com.
Well, I get all my news from NDTV.
That's not where I got it from, though.
Yeah, right.
And New York Post is another one.
All right,
Yeah,
fair enough.
that's the one I got it from.
That's enough. I will.
They arrested him for attempted murder.
My mom was the
Oh,
one that actually
Jesus.
sent me this.
Phew.
She was like, "This might be a fun one," and I was like,
It's a fun one.
And it was from New York, so I was like, "Okay."
There's a lot of things that
New
I
York
would.
Post.
Glad I didn't grow up in India. Glad that's not where I was when I was 15 years old. Glad that's not the case. All I got was an awkward conversation.
I just want to put New York Post because I knew that if I did, it sounded more real. Like that's a very real place.
Okay,
to
but
have
you
it
could
on.
also make it up. You could also make
But I
up
didn't
that a
want
story.
to. I
ran.
wanted it to be real. I didn't want to fake it.
I give up. I give up over
And then
here.
she gets sued for
For libel, yeah, 100%. Somebody finds out, did you say that we ran a story about a guy?
I don't care. Paul didn't guess it, so.
I remember the first time we had Cinemax and Showtime as in the Clark household when we were growing up. I remember the first time I snuck back downstairs when I was like 12 years old to put on some Skinemax after I was supposed to be in bed. And I remember, literally, there's a memory that stays with me forever of my mother walking into the room and being like, "We'll talk about it tomorrow." And I was like, oh, it's like the most powerful thing anybody could say. Like, we're not even going to deal with I'm so mad, I'm not even going to deal with you right now. Like, we'll talk about it tomorrow. And I was just lived in fear. I mean, in complete and total fear for 24 hours until the next night after dinner, my parents sat me down and informed me that I would no longer be able to watch any TV at all. For months because they found out that I was sneaking down and watching Skinemax.
So I wonder how mad the parents actually are.
Yeah.
And how much it's just parental duty.
It's what you're supposed to do. We've talked about this, my wife and I, a little bit recently. We've talked about the thing where what is the line between we don't want you to do something versus we need you to think that we don't want you to do it, but we don't actually care. And we are really struggling with those two things. We are super struggling with where that line is between. Because we don't have to worry about these types of things yet. We got a 7 and a 4-year-old. We got bigger. We needed them to stop lying. That's the problem. We really need them to stop lying right now. But when we get to this point, I don't give a crap if my kids are watching porn. I don't want to become porn addicts. I would prefer that not be the case. But I don't care at all. In fact, it's probably far healthier than other things that you could be doing at a certain age. I would rather you just take care of business and move on in your life, something along those lines. But I still don't think you're supposed to, like, encourage it.
No.
I still don't think you're
Yeah,
supposed
you
to
gotta
walk
put
in and
your
be
foot
like,
down and be like, hey.
let me tell you about what my favorite websites are. You ever heard of the Bang Brothers? Why don't we, like, I don't think you're supposed to go that route.
Right,
with
like
your,
your mom's supposed to be like, hey, we're going to talk about this tomorrow. Your television privileges are revoked. In the back of her mind, she's like, he's 12.
right,
This
yeah, this is what you do, right, yeah.
That's what 12-year-olds do?
Well, I mean, 12-year-olds try to watch Skinamax. Like, you know, you try
I don't
to.
know what Skinamax is.
It was like on Cinemax late at night. They would show like softcore porn movies. Like there was no.
It's still
there was no like actual sex. It was like you could see boobs.
I think
basically.
it's so different because like I only have a sister, and like me and my sister at 12 are playing Barbie still. You know. And,
Okay, that's a
like,
little bit different. Yeah, I
right.
was not playing Barbies at 12. Believe it or
Right,
not.
but, like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like,
Jordan was
young innocent
ironically.
Cass.
Yeah. Right.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
Young, innocent Cass.
Cassidy's like, what is this pornography of which you
No,
speak?
16, her friends learning how to drive. She's getting a new Barbie minivan.
Not bad. Not bad. All right, good job, Cass. Well, not really. You lost, but you did beat Paul.
I won
and
in
that's,
my
that's,
book.
That's what
I
matters.
won in my book.
That's what matters. All right, did this really happen? Also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy Football. UnderdogFantasy.com. Download the Underdog app. Use the code PressBox when you sign up. You make your first deposit. We will match it up to $100 with free money for you to play with. Underdog Fantasy Football. Again, UnderdogFantasy.com. Had to do this a little bit earlier on because of his busy schedule, but an opportunity to catch up with a Baltimore native who's one of the stars of legitimately the best show on television. It's Delante Desouza right here on GCR. Well, as you guys know, I have been talking a lot about my absolute favorite show right now, which is, of course, Winning Time. You can tweet from there. You don't have to put as many. And I was blown away because I'm an idiot, and I've been watching this show religiously, as you guys know, every week. And I had no idea that the man who was playing Michael Cooper for the Los Angeles Lakers is one of our own. He's not only a Baltimorean, he actually, in fact, even went to Maryland. Like, he couldn't be more of one of our own. He is the pride of Poly. He's Delante Desouza, and he's with us now here on GCR. Delante, man, it is so exciting to chat with you. Thank you for taking the time, and congratulations on the incredible success of Winning Time.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you for having me here, man. It feels good to be on and talk with a fellow native from my city, so I'm excited.
Dude, this is so cool. Can you take me back, Delante, your background? Like, you know, were you an athlete? Were you a basketball player at all? Were you growing up in Baltimore and on through Poly? What was your athletics background?
Yeah, so I was a track and field athlete in high school, Glenn. I ran indoor track for a couple years at Poly. But, you know, I never really played basketball. Like, I played it recreationally, like, outside and stuff. I played, like, LA Fitness, that whole sort of deal. But, like, I never played for a basketball team. You know, track was always my thing. I did the 200 and the 400 and the 4x4. So I was, you know, pretty decently fast on the track. But I had never gotten the chance to translate those skills into basketball until, you know, working on the show.
We're going to talk about that. The background into acting, right? Like, when did you know that was the path for you? It's not what you went to Maryland to do, correct?
No, not at all. I actually went to Maryland to be a computer scientist, funny enough.
Weird. That's a very different path, my man.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think the thought of being a full-time actor first came to me when I was about 14 or 15 years old. I was going to this community theater called the Arena Players. You know, you're familiar with it.
Yep.
For those of you who don't know, the Arena Players is a African-American owned and operated community theater in Baltimore, Baltimore City, and it's actually the longest running and continually operated African-American community theater in the United States. So, you know, it has a lot of history there, but, you know, I was going there, I was kind of doing plays and stuff like that. And I remember I was coming up towards the end of my years there because I was getting ready to go to college and do that whole sort of thing. And I remember I did this one summer play and Robert Chu, I call him Mr. Chu, but, you know, Proposition Joe on the Wire.
Yeah.
He was one of my acting teachers there. And I remember, yeah.
You
it's
just
crazy,
blow
right?
you're blowing my mind right now, yo. Prop Joe. That's unreal. That's unreal. Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt Delante.
No, it's all good, Glenn. Yeah, Prop Joe, he was my acting teacher. But yeah, I remember I was doing my last performance at the theater, and he said to me, he said, Delante, I don't know what you want to do, but you could really take this acting thing to the next level if you want.
Wow.
Like, I believe in you, and I'm giving you that. Like, if you want to do it, I fully think you can. And that was the first moment where the possibility of being an actor as a career kind of sat with me. But I just kept that for years, really, throughout all my time in Maryland. I was, doing plays and stuff here and there, kind of dipping my toe in the water. But it wouldn't be until years later that I actually went for it full force.
Dude, this is such a cool. Prop Joe told you could be an actor, man. Like that man can act.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he is a beast.
Delante Desouza is with us. Winning Time Sunday nights on HBO. So you get through Maryland, you get into acting.
Mm-hmm.
This opportunity is so unique. This is an Adam McKay project. This is helmed, by John C. Reilly. And I know that was sort of a change at some point during the process. When something like this comes to you, what words can even describe what an opportunity like this is?
The first word that comes to mind is euphoric. All puns intended, by the way.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we've seen the show. Yeah,
but no, it's so crazy, Glenn, because Adam McKay is, dude, he's one of the nicest dudes ever. He's absolutely hilarious. He's funny. He cares. Like, just being able to be on a project with him and be involved with him is such a wonderful and beautiful experience. You know what I mean? So it was just, I was just elated to, one, be on a TV show, but two, be on HBO also. And three, had to be with Adam McKay. You couldn't ask for a better first project, if you ask me.
It's unreal, man. It's really unreal. Delante, the side of it, obviously, let's go back to basketball, right? Like, you were kind of a basketball player, but the basketball in this is real. It's legit. It's a central focus in this show. How do you get there? How do you get to a place where not only do you have to be an actor, but you got to be capable of portraying real, high-level Lakers Showtime basketball?
Yeah, so the path to getting there is about 2 years worth of basketball training.
Okay.
Rigorous practices. We had an NBA skills coach named Edon Rabin. He's trained like Steph Curry. He's trained Carmelo Anthony and a bunch of NBA guys. But we worked with him for the show, and we would have 2-a-day rehearsals / practices where sometimes we would run plays, but most of the time we would do conditioning. So for me specifically, everybody had their own silhouette, let's say. So Quincy, the guy who plays Magic Johnson, his focus was on being able to pass from anywhere, the behind the back, the no look, the flashiness of Magic. For me, it was just getting as long and as lean as possible, just looking like a tower on defense as Michael Cooper and becoming tenacious when I'm on defense. So, for us, it was 3 hours a day, 2 practices a week, and we were just trying to emulate the Showtime's Lakers as best we could. We're not athletes. There's a couple athletes in the cast, as in guys who played basketball before, either in college or, stuff like that. But we aren't full-time athletes. So we had to bring the essence of Showtime, even though, physically we weren't 6 inches taller than we actually are, to create.
Right.
Yeah.
How much did you know about the show? Obviously, age-wise, this is before you, of course, right? Like, how much did you know about the Showtime Lakers? Did you read Jeff Pearlman's book to try to get you there? And were you as fascinated as we've been with all of the layers, right? Like, we knew the basketball side. My God, all of the layers every week. Dude, I know I read the book years ago. I never knew the Jerry Tarkanian story. I never knew it. Blew my mind, right? Like, how much of that did you know coming into it?
Oh man, Glenn, I didn't know anything to be honest coming into it. I mean, I knew about Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but like everybody knows those 2.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you go a little bit deeper with the Lakers, you probably will bring up like James Worthy, Byron Scott, that later Showtime era of the Lakers. But yeah, man, I didn't know who Michael Cooper was, to be honest with you, until I first got in the audition and I did some research and I was like, wow, me and this dude kind of look alike.
That helps. That helps.
Yeah, definitely helps. But like you said, Glenn, it was definitely before my time. But I mean, Jeff just has an amazing book.
Yep.
I mean, that guy is a sports journalist genius. I mean, I remember I was on set one day and I had saw Jeff Pearlman. He was like visiting the set to just kind of see, what we were up to, checking things out. And I walked up to him and I said, Jeff, without your book, I mean, it's literally a book. None of this would be possible. You guys wouldn't be able to watch this show. We wouldn't be working on it. We wouldn't have all these people coming in and doing these amazing things on set. We wouldn't have Adam producing this awesome project. Like, it all started with a book about basketball, more specifically the Showtime Lakers, and look what it became. And I just love and appreciate the fact that you guys are digging it as much as we did making it.
Delante Desouza is with us here on Glenn Clark Radio. Of course, plays Michael Cooper on Winning Time. That part of it, what did you know? Did you know when it was being filmed? All of the way it was being shot. Like, it's such a small thing, but it adds so much to the show that, like, you feel like you're watching something in the 1980s. Did you know that was going on? Did you have any clue that it was going to look like that? And when you got to see it, did you know immediately, oh, my God, people are going to love this? Because, I don't mean, I'm not just trying to kiss your ass because you're on the show. It's such a wonderful television program.
Thank you, Glenn. It's funny because that was like one of the hardest and biggest secrets for me to keep working on the show.
Okay.
Was what it would look like. And it's not even something you can explain to people. Like, I tried to explain to one of my friends, I was like, yeah, dude, this show is going to be awesome. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. It looks like you're in the 80s. And he was like, what does that mean?
Right.
And I was like, it just looks like you're in the 80s, man. Like, it looks like you got transported back to the 80s. So I'm glad you guys got to visually see what it looked like. But man, when I saw it for the first time, I remember I was on set and I just finished up my scenes for the day and I was watching some playback and I was just like, oh my God, this is gorgeous. Like, the way the cinematographers, the DP, Todd, who works on the show, just his vision for the project just is mind blowing. And like on the show, we use actual film to shoot the project. So like we had rolls of film going that you would hear run out like towards the end of a take, and we'd have to like stop and reload. Like it was like legitimately legitimate film and like making that grainy 80s look like you'd see.
That's so cool, man. It's so cool. And it's so worth it. Oh, it just adds so much to what is already such a wonderful show. I ask, knowing you can't give anything away, but like everything we've already seen, right? Like we've already seen a lot. What could possibly still be to come this season, man? Like, my God.
I would say, as far as the rest of the season goes, there's definitely more drama within the team. There's going to be more big basketball rivalries that we haven't touched on yet, or we've just scratched the surface of.
I guess there's a certain someone that we know is still going to show up at some point. We're pretty excited about that. That'll still be pretty cool.
Yes. His name rhymes with Barry Murd, I think.
Could be anyone.
It could be anyone, Glenn. But nah, dude, we've got so much more exciting stuff coming up this season. I mean, the show just takes off from this point. You know, this is where we start to fly. We've got everybody established. We've got our storylines in and tight, and now we can just fly with it. So you guys are definitely in for a great second half of the season.
And then what about for Delante Desouza? This is such a cool story that a kid from Baltimore is getting this opportunity. what's next for you? I can only imagine, the types of doors that doing a project like this can open for you. What's next for you? What are you working on? What are your goals? What are your aspirations?
Yeah, Glenn. So right now, there are some things that I can't really discuss right now publicly. But what I can say is that this is definitely not the last time you'll see me.
Yeah. We like that.
So yeah, we love that, right? But I say just stay on the lookout, man. I got some exciting news coming up. So yeah, it'll be fun.
I love that. I love that, man. Dude, I can't tell you. I am such a nerdy fan of this TV show, bro. I'm such a fan, and it makes me so much happier now that we know that one of our own is succeeding and thriving because of it, man. It means a whole lot to us back this way. Is there somebody back in Baltimore you want to give a shout-out to? Somebody that maybe, like, from your athletics, like, career, track and field, anything like that, that maybe, people need to know how important this person was to you in your life here?
Yeah, for sure. I would definitely want to get a shout out to my parents back home, my brother, my sister, and also my other brother, just my family in general. Shout out to you guys. Definitely gave me a lot of support growing up to do what I'm doing now. So I thank you guys for that, and I appreciate that. I also want to give a shout out to the arena players, man. If I wasn't there, I wouldn't be here now. So they were the ones that kind of laid the foundation for the craft in me and watered that seed and let it grow. So definitely shout out to the arena players. Miss Catherine Orange, thank you so much. And shout out to my mentor, Rod Carter, too, man. Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Love my city.
That's awesome, man. Delante at Delante Desouza on Twitter, at Delante Desouza on Instagram as well, to give him a follow. Anything else we can get a plug in for you for, man?
No, that's about it, Glenn. Thank you.
Hey, brother. Seriously, you are killing it. The show is phenomenal. It brings me great joy to have this conversation. Greatly appreciate you taking a couple of minutes for us this morning, and continued success. We'll be in touch. All right.
Awesome, Glenn. No problem, man. Thank you for having me on again, man. I appreciate it.
That is Delante Desouza. What a cool story that is. And if you are not watching Winning Time, what the hell are you doing? It is brilliant, captivating, thrilling television, and it's hilarious to boot. John C. Reilly and Adam McKay at the helm, and the story we were talking about with Jeremy on Monday. The story that it actually caused a rift between Adam McKay and Will Ferrell, ended their friendship because Will Ferrell wanted to play Dr. Buss, and Adam McKay said, "No, I'm going with John C. Reilly. That's the way it's going to go." And I don't know what it would have been like with Will Ferrell, but it's hard for me to imagine it would have been as good as this.
I feel like you wouldn't have been able to take Will Ferrell as seriously, and Dr. Buss's character isn't a serious character.
No, but it's just there's some, like as I said the other day, somehow he walks this fine line of being this douchebag playboy and yet the most likable human on the face of the planet.
Absolutely.
The guy that it's not just that you want to be him, like you want to root for him too. Like you're inspired by, yeah, I want you to succeed. I want you to build the Lakers. And I hate the Lakers. Why would I want that? But the show is so effing good, and John C. Reilly is so effing good that I find myself rooting for Dr. Buss.
It's funny, though. Aren't Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly good friends in real life?
They're also friends, yes.
So
they're definitely also
you'd think
friends.
that he could put his ego inside and be like, you know what? I would have liked to have gotten it, but at least John got it.
I don't know, man. It's a very weird. I've read a good bit about it. They've done a few interviews about it. It's weird. It's a weird situation that like this has split up. Will Ferrell and Adam McKay were absolute partners.
Mm-hmm.
Like they worked on every project together. And Adam McKay started getting away from like slapstick comedy and did some he did. What was the Dick Cheney film? Vice. That was what that was called, right? He did that. He started doing some more things. He did that. Don't Look Up. He did that, right? Like he started doing some other projects that definitely were not Will Ferrell vehicles.
I wonder if it's just because he wouldn't even give him an audition. Like, this is not a role for you. And Will was like,
Well, they had somebody else. There was somebody originally in line to play Jerry Buss. Hang on. Jerry Buss, original actor. And the story was, and I got to remember who it was, because whoever it was, like, couldn't get it. Michael Shannon, who's wonderful, who is just effing outstanding, right?
He couldn't pull off that role.
Apparently, the problem with Michael Shannon was he was struggling with the fourth wall thing. Like, he couldn't handle the parts where, like, they're in the middle of a scene and then Dr. Bus turns to the camera and starts talking to the audience instead of doing the scene, which you would think, like, as an actor, that shouldn't be all that difficult, right? But I guess when you're that deep in the game and you're, like, that lost in a character, all you want to do is just be the character and not suddenly turn back and be the narrator too. It works seamlessly with John C. Reilly. He does it, like, you don't even think about the fact that he's doing it. It's not even one of the things that you consider in the course of the show, but he does also play the role of narrator, but it's as Jerry Buss being the narrator. It's wild, right? Like, you're casually in the middle of a scene, and all of a sudden he just turns and he starts telling you about what's going on. Like, that'll come up again later down the road, but right now we're dealing with it. Like, he's suddenly the narrator all of a sudden. It's wild, man.
I look at Michael Shannon, and he's never played a role where he's just not like this angry, bitter-looking guy. You ever see that Family Guy episode where they
What's going on? Okay, we'll try it again.
Yeah, ever see that Family Guy episode?
No, don't. Oh, okay, sorry. You muted Paul's mic. You can't mute Paul's mic. We still need Paul.
Do you ever see that episode of Family Guy where they need to keep Michael Shannon calm?
Oh, I vaguely remember
and Peter
that.
leaves the
Yeah.
scene for a second. He comes back and everybody's dead, and Michael Shannon's just sitting there.
I vaguely
That's how I
remember
look at
that.
Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon's a damn good actor. Like, he is an unbelievable actor. But
I don't think he could pull that role off.
I don't know that. I just don't know that, man. I have no idea whether you could pull that role off or not. Just simply because I would have to see what it looks like. I think when you're talented, you can figure it out, and you can figure out a way to make it work. The problem is John C. Reilly is so good. He's so good as Dr. Buss that you're almost like, thank God they didn't do anything else. Right. Because I don't know that it can be better. Maybe somebody else could do it, but it couldn't be better than this.
And he looks exactly like him.
Well, to be fair, I don't really know what Jerry Buss looked like.
If you look at what Jerry Buss looked like back then, it's pretty damn spot on. Pretty damn spot on.
Jerry Buss, what are we talking about?
79?
1980 is what I was thinking, yeah. Jerry Buss, 1980. It's pretty close. I mean, it's definitely close. There's no doubt about it.
I don't think
but
Michael Shannon could have done
They
that.
can do a lot of things now in order to make that work. All right. Anyway, watch Winning Time. It's genius. I mean, it is absolutely a spectacular television program. Today's show also brought to you by Simply the Bets. Every Tuesday, 11:40 a.m. Every other Thursday at 11:40 a.m. we do Weekend at Bookies. If you missed either show this week, what you need to do is you need to go right now to facebook.com/PressBoxSports. Click on the videos tab. You need to go to youtube.com/PressBoxOnline. You can find them there. Simply the Bets. Every Tuesday, 11:40 a.m. Weekend at Bookies. Every other Thursday at 11:40 a.m. We do them. They are in partnership with the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. And if you missed either show this week, make sure you go check them out as we try to win you some money. Why don't we grab a break? We will sort through whatever's going on in the break, and then we'll come back in, chat with Hasim Rahman, still to come. We'll get Young Utes, Tidbit, Tubular, and before we wrap up today, Maryland offensive tackle Spencer Anderson is going to join us as well. It's Glenn Clark Radio. Sports fans, the wait is over. The all-new FanDuel Sportsbook is now open at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover, Maryland. This is your chance to win big right in your own backyard. Bet on every sport with self-service kiosks and watch all of the action from the best seat in the house. Make every moment more at the all-new FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit mdgamblinghelp.org.
That first sip. That first bite. Start your day off right with a delicious breakfast at Royal Farms. Choose from a fantastic selection of fresh Royal Farms breakfast sandwiches and top it off with a rich hot cup of the freshest coffee in the world. At Royal Farms, breakfast is available day and night. It's the freshest breakfast in the world. Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Come in for Glory Burgers, Glory Wings. There's glory for everyone at Glory Days Grill. Enjoy the award-winning burgers, ribs, and wings, or try our fresh salads, hand-cut salmon, or our scrumptious sandwiches. Yum! Come in for daily specials every weekday, like $7.99 burgers on Mondays, $6.99 nachos on Thursdays, and Taco Tuesdays. And watch all of your favorite games at Glory Days Grill with 25 screens and private speakers at every table, plus game day drink specials. Visit us at glorydaysgrill.com for a location near you. Glory Days Grill. Great food, good sports.
The newest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, we celebrate the 20th anniversary of Maryland men's basketball's 2002 NCAA Tournament Championship, as Gary Williams reflects on how the program rose from the ashes of NCAA sanctions to the pinnacle of the sport, and why his perspective of the title run has changed now 2 decades later. Plus, Juan Dixon, Lonnie Baxter, and the rest of the team relive the moments that ultimately led them to cutting down the nets in Atlanta. Press Box is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores. And you can always find the entire edition, as well as the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
The Toyota Tacoma comes in a wide range of models and trim lines. You can choose the perfect Toyota to reflect your unique personality and driving habits. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Tacomas from your local Toyota dealer today.
If you miss anything, don't forget that you can find whole shows later on Spotify, Apple, or Amazon Podcast. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
All right, back in here on GCR. Tiger Woods teeing off today. Oh, he'll be in TV coverage at land as Tiger Woods is at 141 for his tee time in round 2 of the Masters. And I don't know, it's so funny to me. I didn't realize this. Like they don't start TV coverage until 3, and like the latest tee time is after 2 o'clock. I'll never get it. I'll never in my life get it.
Maybe they have a deal with the Masters app.
They don't. This has existed before there was ever streaming.
Yeah.
It's about exclusivity. It's about you're only allowed to watch a certain amount. It is.
The talking heads upstairs got to figure so you can't.
No, they're never changing it. This is just who they are. Like, this is who they are, as they want it to be exclusive. They want it to be that you can't be a part of it. You're a peon. You're an average. You're a normie. You don't get to be a part of our exclusive thing. That's the way that it works. They'll never, ever change the way they do it. The fact that they even allowed streaming was a massive win years ago that you could even watch in some capacity. There's nothing I can do about it. Nothing I can do about it at all. Quickly, the update is that Sung J M is back to 5 under. Dustin Johnson is now at 4 under with Cameron Smith. And I continue to care only about the things that I have wagered on, because that is what matters to me. Tony Finau is teeing off at 2 o'clock, and Xander Schauffele, still 2 over through 3 holes. Not thrilled about that. Not great. That's what's going on at the Masters. Today's show also brought to you by the print issue of PressBox. It is available right now for free at your neighborhood Royal Farms, any of the hundreds of locations around town where you find PressBox. Read it all, PressBoxOnline.com. Check it out there. We got our 1970s phone that we're using in the studio. Go pick it up right now. Gary Williams is on the cover. We celebrate the 20th anniversary of Maryland men's basketball winning the national championship in 2002. It is available right now, PressBox print issue. And only about 2 weeks left for you to pick this one up before there will be a new print issue of PressBox on stands. 3 weeks from tonight, big fight. Our next guest is battling Kenzie Morrison, who has something in common with him. They're both the sons of former linear heavyweight champions. Joining us now, I think for the first time on this show, which seems impossible. It's a pleasure for us to welcome back in Hasim Rahman Jr., who's with us on GCR. Hasim, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you so much for taking a couple of minutes for us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm hyped about the fight.
Man, it is such a cool thing. Can you give us a little background on how this came about? The idea seems like so simplistic. Like, what an easier way for you guys to sell a fight. But how did it come about that you two guys ended up running into each other?
The promoter that I signed with, and when I first turned pro, Greg Cohen, he had this fight vision from the moment I turned pro.
Wow.
So this was always a fight that was down the line, that was that we looked to have interest in, and then it seemed like out of nowhere they called us and asked us for the fight. So we definitely took it. We ready, and it's go time. April 29th is the date.
Do you know Kenzie at all? Like, is he somebody that, like, just obviously everybody brings up what you have in common, of course, but is he somebody that at any point you would come across in any of your life in boxing?
Never. I've been in boxing since I was
like you're a baby, right?
4 or 5 years old. Yeah. So I've never ran across Kenzie. Never talked to him. Never said a word to him.
It's probably you like it better that way because you're gonna go beat his face in a couple.
You got that right. You got that right.
Hasim, doing something like this, right? Like, was there any part of you that thought to yourself, like, man, I don't know, I'm my own man. I don't really want to. I want to rely on anybody else. Did you have any of those thoughts, or did you find it as intriguing as the rest of the country and finds this thought of you fighting someone who has something so similar to you in your background?
No, I never thought of it like that. I see the problem in my career. I should have at least 11, 12 more fights, but I've had so many people pull out and show up, and then it's been gone as far as somebody actually got in the ring with me, got announced. The referee told us to step to the middle to touch gloves, and he went back to his locker room and left.
Are you serious?
Didn't want to fight. Yeah, it's on ESPN covered it. Look it up.
Wait, I don't remember that at all. Who was it?
His name was Joseph Coates. He got suspended for like 2 years for that.
What the F?
Yeah, but that just goes to show, and that wasn't the last time that somebody backed out on me. I mean, I've had guys back out the day before. I've had guys back out the day of, and it's just, I don't know. Just when it gets down to it, it gets difficult just because of the name. And I have someone across from me who has a name that bears weight as well for the same exact reason. So now it's no reason for him to pull out. It's a great fight. It's going to be very competitive, and I can't wait. I can't wait to watch it unfold.
Again, it's 3 weeks from tonight, and it's on the Fight app. So make sure you are signed up, that you've downloaded the Fight app, so you can watch Hasim Rahman Jr. and Kenzie Morrison coming up on April 29th. Hasim, your path, right? Like you're 12 you got 12 wins professionally in your career. You have treaded the right direction. Do you feel like a fight that gets a bit of attention is what's needed for you in taking the next step towards big dollar, huge opportunity fights to make your own name as one of the stars in this sport?
Yeah, I mean, you said it yourself, but that's everything this fight is. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better opportunity. I'd love to thank the WBC for putting the USNBC Heavyweight Championship on the line. This is a title fight. I've been training as such. I feel ready. I feel prepared mentally, physically, spiritually. I'm just ready to put the finishing touches on my training camp and go hard on the 29th.
Do you feel like this moment is a moment that's overdue? You referenced the fights you haven't been able to get. Do you feel like you should have been getting opportunities like this 2, 3, 4 years ago at this point?
I mean, I was ready out the gate for this. I would have had my debut against Kenzie. So it's definitely a fight that I would have been taking. I'm very intrigued by the fight. But like I said before, I've known Kenzie a lot longer than he's known me. So we'll see what happens on April 29th. It's going to be a war. I know he's coming, and he's going to come with his best, and he knows I'm coming. I'm coming with my best. So we'll see which best man will win on the 29th.
Hasim, you referenced that you've been in and around this sport basically since you were a baby. Did you always know? Like, was there ever any doubt in your mind that this was going to be the path for you? Was there ever a point where you're like, man, I don't have to do this. I could do something else. Or is every thought that you've ever had from the moment that your brain could function been, this is who I am. I am a boxer. I am going to be a fighter for the rest of my life?
When I was young, I wanted to fight, and then my dad put me in the gym at like 19 years old, and I didn't like because I seen him get hit a lot.
Yeah.
And then I got hit like barely. I barely got hit, and I was like, oh no. I don't like that shit. I'd rather fix people than break them. So I wanted to be a doctor.
Wow.
And then I was getting older, and I kept playing sports, and I got really, really good at football. I was a D1 prospect, and I said, you know what? There's so many people trying to be the next Ray Lewis. Look at all these high schools, all these colleges across the nation. Look how many people trying to be the next Ray Lewis. What if I twist my ankle? What if I get a great sack and I stand up and one of these offensive linemen trips and falls and breaks my leg? I've seen it happen. You'd never be the same after something like that, and that can happen at any time. So I said, you know what? All these people trying to be the next Ray Lewis. How many people trying to be the next Lennox Lewis? And I felt like the odds were in my favor. I felt like I had a more fulfilling destiny, a more purposeful destiny to fulfill, rather than win a Super Bowl. Because there has been a heavyweight, Ken Norton. He was heavyweight champion
That's right.
of the world, and his son went on to win a Super Bowl.
He's a hell of a
So
player.
that's already been done. That's a part of history that he owns. And I wanted my own piece of history. There's no one in boxing, the history of this beautiful sport, who won the heavyweight championship of the world and then raised the son to win the heavyweight championship of the world or any version of a heavyweight title. It's never happened. That would be my own piece of history, and I'm looking to snatch it because the person that's closest to snatching my piece of history.
That's a great point.
Is Kenzie Morrison.
Wow.
So we're both looking to get to that level. No one is closer to having that achievement than himself and I. So I feel like this is coming at the perfect time. Let's see who takes a step backwards and who emerges as a contender.
Bro, that's a hell of a sell for a fight, man. My God, that's a hell of a sell for a fight. Like, you're literally talking about history. That's incredible, man. The pressure that comes with being your father's son, Hasim, right? The pressure of the standard is heavyweight champion of the world, right? The pressure is the man who authored, the greatest upset in boxing history, right? Like, how were you able to handle that pressure? How have you been able to not let that be something that's too daunting for you?
I just work hard. I work hard, and I know that everything I do is for a reason. So nothing that I'm doing is without purpose. I pray for this. I've been praying for this since I was 9 years old. So faith without work is dead. So I've been working. I prayed for it as a kid. I've been praying for it. I've had the same prayer since I was a child. I don't know who believes in God or what realm they believe in, but when you talk to God for decades and decades and decades about something, he gives you a chance to make it happen. You go at it full speed ahead, and that's what I'm doing. I'm going at it full speed ahead. When you speak about the pressure is something that is measured by the outside. I'm not even worried about the outside. The only thing I can see is Kenzie Morrison across that ring on April 29th. So when you say pressure makes diamonds, and I'm looking to shine on the 29th.
I love that, man. Just another minute or two here. Hasim Rahman Jr. Again, he's fighting Kenzie Morrison, the son of Tommy Morrison, on April 29th on the Fight app. Hasim, you're not not Baltimore for your entire life, right? Like, we know that you were out in Vegas and you've done all that, but there's this moment that's happened with Baltimore fighters over the course of the last 6-7 years. It feels like this city is sort of like taken over boxing. How much has that meant to you to be associated, to be a part of it? We see your brothers, now both brothers, like, boy, my God, your dad was telling me about your youngest brother. Holy crap. How important has that been for you to see the city of Baltimore represented in this sport the way that it has over the last 5-6 years?
I mean, anybody that knows me knows that Baltimore means the world to me. I love my city. I love where I come from. It's my culture. It's where I grew up. It's where I was raised. It's where I learned how to walk, talk, eat, sleep, write, read. I'm from Baltimore.
Yep.
Now, when I was a young teenager, we moved to Vegas to better my father's career.
Yep.
And that in turn wound up being myself and my younger brother's career. But as far as representing Baltimore City, that's something I'm always gonna do because I never forget where I came from. And anybody, like I said, anybody that knows me knows every summer I come back because it's too hot to stay in Vegas. every summer I was back. I haven't missed a year going back to Baltimore in the 20 years I've been to Vegas. I've gone back every year. I go back. I'm still very in touch with all my family. A lot of my family even think I still live in Baltimore because I'm there so much. So it's definitely been a roller coaster ride, but Baltimore's with me the whole way. I already know 20 or 30 people that are coming out to the fight from Baltimore. So I'm just glad it's finally my time. And as far as everybody else that's putting on for Baltimore, it's a momentum thing. So, my father got it kicked off, and we got Tank with the world title, and we got many, many more world champions coming after that. So we will see who emerges at the top. But at the end of the day, I believe that we'll all be sitting in a Maryland Hall of Fame dinner, and we'll have multiple world titles for Baltimore City to be represented.
This is awesome, man. I'm so stoked for this fight. I got to tell you, I worked in Phoenix for 2 years, 15 years ago, and I happened to make a real powerful friendship with Tommy Morrison during those years. But I'll have you know, Hasim, I know who I'm rooting for on the 29th.
Well, thank you, Baltimore City, man. I'm not only fighting for myself, but I'm fighting for the Rockmans. I'm fighting for Baltimore City. I'm fighting for the Muslims. I'm fighting for anybody that has come out of a prison cell and had their life deterred by prison. All these things that I'm fighting for. Most importantly, my son. I lost my son in 2017. So most importantly, I want to make him proud. I promised him a title. I'm gonna bring it home for him, and this is not the last one. I'm gonna bring. I'm a man of my word, so I will put my best foot forward on April 29th. So Kenzie Morrison better be a dangerous man because he's going to be looking across the ring at one.
We can't wait.
Friday night.
Cannot wait to see it. @_ Rahman Jr. on Twitter is how you follow him. And it's _ Junior on Instagram, correct?
It's just one underscore.
Okay, one underscore Junior on Instagram is how you follow him there. Hasim, congratulations on everything, man. We can't wait for the 29th. This is such an exciting fight. And go kick some ass. And let's talk again with you being a world champion, all right?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I look forward to talking to you after the fight.
Appreciate it, man. Hasim Rahman
Yes,
Jr.
sir.
Man, that's cool. It's really powerful stuff in there, right? Talking about, what he's the weight that he's carrying with him, trying to make history as being the first son of a world champion to become a world champion himself. And for those of you that are too young to remember, like what Hasim Rahman did in 2001, man, truly, truly shocked the world at that point. All right, we are winding down for a Friday edition of GCR. I believe it is time for us to do this. I think that was one of my better ones. I think it was all right.
Yeah.
Young Utes, brought to you by the Stan the Fan Variety Hour. If you missed it this week, Stan and Ross had an emotional conversation with former Oriole Jim Poole about his fight with ALS. Last night, Stan caught up with our buddy Drew Forrester to talk about the Masters, his new show, Fairways and Greens. It starts this Sunday. You can find them both where you get your video, facebook.com/PressBoxSports. Click on the videos tab. Go to youtube.com/PressBoxOnline or PressBoxOnline.com/video. Coming up Monday night, Stan and Ross Grimsley after the game. So they're going to do a special late show on Monday, an 8 o'clock show. They'll be catching up with the Orioles legend Kenny Singleton. That's Monday night at 8. All right, Lil Jordan, what you got?
Do you know who Hasbulla is?
I am only because Barstool did like a huge
yeah.
thing with
so
him.
It was his first ever
I'm asking this question. Who is he?
So he's a 19-year-old.
But is he just like a social media?
Yeah, he's
okay.
like a guy that blew up on social media. He's friends with Khabib
Nurmagomedov.
Nurmagomedov, and he's known as Mini Khabib because he does fights versus other little people.
That's his content.
Well,
his content is
his content is everything. He'll take videos doing like stunts with guns and stunts with like driving cars.
Okay.
And then he just hangs out with all these like famous UFC
But
fighters.
he's a content creator.
Yeah, content creator would be his title.
Okay.
And so he sat down with Caleb Presley from Barstool Sports for his first ever formal interview with anyone, and just some of the quotes. I watched the whole thing, and I thought it was very comedic content.
Okay.
My friends did. So,
okay.
But
it seems like males your age all feel the same way.
Yeah.
It does not register for me at all. Well, wait it out. Wait it out. We don't let until you're finished.
Cass
we'll
is cracking up. But
yeah.
So, some of the good quotes.
It's been memed all week. I've seen nothing but memes of this. So the story is it's not just that he's a little person. Doesn't he have like an actual?
Yeah, he has some form. I'm not sure the exact condition.
Okay.
But he's like verified on all social media. But so some of the quotes
Because he genuinely looks like a small child.
Yeah.
Like he
does
doesn't
not
look
19.
Is it what like Andy Milonakis?
I think there's
if you just Google HAS.
Oh, I know what he looks like.
Okay.
I know I've seen it.
The
but
condition.
It's not like dwarfism, you know.
No,
what I'm saying?
it's not.
that.
It's something. There's something. It's growth hormone deficiency, a genetic disorder that occurs when the brain's pituitary gland can't produce growth hormone. Anyway, sorry. He could probably kick my ass. So I mean.
So yeah. So he said. So one of the quotes was Caleb asked him about Ronaldo,
The soccer player.
Friend. Yeah.
Okay.
And Hezbollah goes, I could not care less about Ronaldo. I am more famous than him. The only thing Ronaldo does in a match is pass around the ball. All right. And then they asked him.
That doesn't.
They asked him about his approach to hitting the gym, and he goes, I don't pump iron. I am iron. I also carry a knife. When I carry the blade, people keep their mouths shut. Now I have my brothers with me. He's talking about Khabib and other UFC fighters. They're better.
Should have just stopped at the I don't pump iron, I am iron, because that's the one that I've seen memed. Yeah. That's good. That's a good. The rest of it is stupid.
When
like,
I have the blade.
Yeah, I mean the rest of that's just dumb. But that line, that's a good line.
And then he was like, when people try to insult me, I'm quick to clap back, and then it's beef. In the interview, he said, I want to become the Minister of Internal Affairs for the Russian Republic of Dagestan. First, I'll find all of my haters and make them panic.
Okay. I mean, that doesn't...
So this dude's insane.
And he was I'll slow down the speed limit within the city, but increase it on the highway, and I will take all speed cameras down.
Okay.
But
right.
yeah,
So this now you've gone from I was vaguely interested, and now I'm not remotely interested. All of a sudden, I don't care about his thoughts on speed cameras. It's not... he doesn't register. I think the generic question... So this... I had never heard of this person until the internet started talking about him this week. I believe that the internet cares and that young youths care. Yeah, he looks like, he genuinely looks like a 7-year-old. He looks like, cast of the young youths care about Hezbollah.
Yeah.
They do.
They
okay.
like him.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't, this will never be for me, right? Like the content creator thing will never be for me. I'll always prefer people who act. I'll always prefer watching Winning Time to watching somebody just, saying nonsense on and I'm not in the Barstool world. It's just not my world. Like some of them I find to be quite funny. Some of them I find to offer nothing.
Caleb's really the only one
I don't know.
He's not funny to me.
Yeah.
It's just that he's funny because he's small. No offense. It's just everything he does.
You're talking about
Hezbollah, right?
Yeah. No, not him. I'm just saying I think that's the only reason why he's funny.
I get the idea. You're not used to seeing someone that looks like that, talk a bunch of S, and although there have been other little people who have tried to make that their gimmick over the years, like that they're a badass. That we've seen that play out before. I don't, I don't begrudge him in any way. I just don't. He's in no means do I care about his opinions about him doing an interview. I don't give a rat's ass about what he thinks about politics or what he thinks about Like, if he's a funny content creator, be a funny content creator. The problem is when we give those people power and pretend like what their opinions are. Like, go make your content, and the people enjoy it, make your content. But when we try to pretend like those are the people that should be making decisions or, like, influencing actual things in the world, here's what I would do about speeding tickets. Why are you the authority? It's like, famously, that when Jason Collins came out as gay, Chris Broussard was working for ESPN, and Chris Broussard was allowed to go on ESPN and talk about, like, his feelings as a religious person about Jason Collins coming out as gay. And the only thing I think to myself was, like, who gives a flying F? Like, what does this have to do with anything? You're not an authority on this. You're a basketball reporter. Like, what are we doing here? And that's the way that I feel about you telling me what, Hezbollah feels about, here's what I would do about the laws. And, like, who cares, bro? Like, my God. Imagine someone coming to me and being like, what are you going to do about, day trading in society? Well, let me tell you, I got a lot of thoughts about that. Like, what the F? Just to pretend like anyone is an authority on anything. Hey, Cass, could you break down the Argentinian economy for me? Share some real thoughts about what's going on down there? We got a weird... That's the problem that I have, is that when someone becomes famous or gets some sort of following, we suddenly believe that they are some sort of authority on any subject at all. And I'm just like, what are we doing? I'm smart enough to tell you I'm stupid. I got a lot of opinions, but I'll tell you right up front, I'm stupid, and I should not be the one who is influencing societal norms. Go ahead. What's number 2 on your list?
Tiger King's Joe Exotic.
I'm out.
Wants to marry new love interest he met in prison immediately after filing for divorce.
Wait, who was he married to most recently? Which one of them?
Dylan Passage.
I don't know.
Passage.
Which one was that? It's been so long since I watched the show.
I saw like 2 episodes and it wasn't for me. But I appreciate.
I don't remember this guy.
Was it a tiger?
I'm out. I remember the guy that unfortunately, ended things for himself. I remember that guy.
By accident, like.
Well, we think by accident. Like, we think that. Yeah, it was awful. Everything about it was awful. I don't remember this guy at all. God bless. Do whatever you want to do. I could not. I'm so out on the Tiger King. I'm so out on all of it. I don't want any of it. I have not looked. I thought I might maybe look at the Peacock show. I haven't even looked at it. I haven't even had, and there's so many things that are ahead of that on my list. I don't think I'll ever look at the Peacock show. All of these people are bad people. I don't want any of them to have good things happen to them. We needed this at a time in our lives when we were all stuck inside and had nothing to do, so we needed the Tiger King to get us through for that week, that first week of quarantine. We needed Tiger King in our lives. And then a week later, we realized, what did we just invest ourselves in? These are wretched, all of them. Every single one of them is a terrible person. There is not a redeemable human being involved in any of this. They are all awful humans.
But damn, those country tiger songs, man.
I mean, I'll listen to those. Those are they're correct. They're bangers and a half. I'm with you on that. And I definitely want someone to describe my testicles at my funeral. I want you to make sure that you hire. I've said before, I want there to be a gay cowboy to be hired to come to my funeral and talk about how amazing my testicles were.
Joe Exotic will do it for $57.
I don't want it to be him, not him. Anybody else, any other gay cowboy. Or I said I'd be willing to, if someone was gay and played for the Dallas Cowboys, if someone was named, if Willie Gay was on the Dallas Cowboys roster, I'd settle for that. If someone, I would take a cowboy whose name was gay, right? Like, I would take anything like that as long as they come to my funeral and talk about the greatness of my testicles. I'm in, right? But that's it. Otherwise, I'm out. No. Do the young people give a rat's ass?
No.
I didn't think so.
I mean, I would swipe and be like, oh, cool. And like if I saw it on TikTok, I'd be like, oh,
we're over it. We're
but
just,
like, no
as a
one
society,
cares.
it's not just that we're over it, it's that we've had a reckoning. We've had a reckoning in relation to this. We are ashamed of how invested we were in the Tiger King. And the reality is it happened because we needed it. We had nothing else to do. If we had had anything else, if they had released that thing a month earlier, it never would have been a thing. No one would have ever given a rat's ass. But in that moment where we had nothing else going on for us in society, it was it. all we had was the Tiger King, and so we were obsessed with it for 2 weeks.
Can we make the argument that maybe Joe Exotic and his producers started COVID to get him
In order to make it a thing, and well, it didn't get him out of jail, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it helped in that
he's
way.
really in jail for.
I'm telling you, we have that. The real problem is the reckoning that we've had with Tiger King. That we have realized, what in the F were we doing? How did we allow ourselves to be so captivated by something so awful? All right, so this is a big one because you're 1 for 2 coming into this. Got to hit.
So this is about the viral TikTok stunt of the Tesla a couple weeks ago. You didn't see it?
I'm not familiar.
So it was in an LA car meet, and some guy in a 2018 Tesla, and you know the streets kind of have their little slants and go down in the hills. So he goes full speed, like 90 miles per hour, over a hill, takes off in the Tesla, and they filmed it, and everyone's going like, oh, so cool. And he comes down, and he crashes the car into, like, someone's, like, wall or something. And
Okay, I see it.
And he flees the scene. And so then an ex-member of David Dobrik's crew.
Who's David Dobrik?
He's like a influencer, like YouTube.
This
guy,
is a person the young youths know about.
Yeah, but everyone hates him now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he like turned into
I
like a
loved
really,
him. I loved
he
him
turned
when
into
I was
a really
younger.
like sleaze.
Okay. Was he a stunt guy? Was that was?
He made his friends do stunts.
Yeah,
okay.
he didn't do it. He just was like, "I'll give you money."
He
And
didn't do anything, quite
Is he
honestly.
Joe Exotic?
No, he's better than Joe Exotic.
I'm looking at pictures. I've
but
never seen this person in my life.
He was big on YouTube.
But again,
for a
I'm
while.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm,
And
ancient.
And so one of his
You should tell the
ex-
baseball guys. He's old. He doesn't know who David Dobrik is. He's never heard of him.
One of his ex crew members, Domiekas
Sure.
Zegletis,
Yeah.
known as Dirt Dom.
Dirty Dom.
Dirty Dom. Dirty Dom. There we go.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure.
I
yeah.
like Dirty
I believe that
Dom.
was one of the. I believe that was the guy that the kid in India was watching the porno of. Was Dirty Dom.
Probably.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Dirty Dom and the boys.
Oh boy, Cassidy, you got a thing for Dirty Dom?
I like Dirty Dom.
Of course you do.
And so the LAPD got flooded with tips saying that Dirty Dom did this stunt. And then Dirty Dom posted on like Twitter and everything, and he was like, screw LAPD, like I got away with this, blah, blah. To which then a plethora of influencers came in and were like, dude, you weren't there. We were hanging out with you when you did this. Why are you claiming responsibility?
Okay.
And the LAPD is like, yeah, you didn't do it. Please stop telling
So
people.
he wanted the notoriety.
He was like, I just crashed my new Tesla. That was my car. Like, I did this stunt. Like, and like, he was like, look, I'm now famous again. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, again, one of those people fishing for content, doing stupid things. And
That makes me sad.
God, what a society we live in. We live in an effing society where we want to be the guy that crashed and wrecked. Oh, God. People are so stupid. I'm sorry. It's so stupid. All right. Is there a finale to this story? Are they still on the search for?
Police are looking, and they say the person who did it.
Remember, you got to talk into this part of the microphone.
They're still looking for the person who did it, and they will be convicted of a misdemeanor hit and run.
Well, I mean,
when
the
found.
police don't get to decide if you're convicted or not.
Yeah.
Like, they can charge you.
They've deemed the incident.
Yeah, right. That's the way
Yeah.
that works. Young youths clearly care about this.
Yeah, sadly.
Oh, God. Oh.
Hate to give him the point.
All right. You went 2 for 3. You win for this week on Young Youths. This is... Look, and you know, I struggle with this, right? Because, as we talked about, I'm in the era of Jackass, where we are obsessed with everything related to Jackass. It was our thing. You two, of course, don't care because we tried to take you to the movies, and you were like, deuces, peace out.
I like Jackass.
Yeah. We were in that era, so I don't know how drastically different what these people do is than what the folks in Jackass did.
Jackass was funny. This is just like, you have money, you're a douchebag.
You
Like,
just
go
want to
do-
get
it's-
attention.
It's not like shoving a Matchbox car.
That's true, up your ass.
and
Yeah,
going
that's
to
a little bit
and going
different.
to
Fair
a
enough.
doctor and
Right.
being like, oh,
yeah,
what happened?
it's a better
Like-
prank.
like
yeah.
that's hilarious. Crashing a Tesla and then being like, you're not even the one who did it. But
Yeah, you're just trying to get
like-
attention.
But you're just like,
Okay.
I'm rich.
All right, they're bigger douches, is what you're saying. All
Not
right.
even funny.
All right,
Just douche.
I'm with it. I do feel better about myself that I'm into Jackass and Young Youths are into what's David Dobrik.
David Dobrik's Vlog Squad.
Oh God.
Cancel him.
can't. How? How do we do that? Where do we sign up?
He's already canceled, to be honest.
Oh,
Do you know-
really?
do you
What
know-
happened?
Do you know Steve will do it? That's a guy.
No.
he-
I need you to understand. If there's someone on
cool.
TikTok,
I
I
like him.
don't know them.
Steve will do it is cool. He's known
I
for
watch
doing
Winning Time. That's what I watch.
He does outlandish stuff with
Uh-huh.
alcohol and drugs. Like he one time.
But is somebody gonna die? Because there's a little bit of a.
He's
gonna die.
Yeah.
He does it himself. Like there's a video on YouTube of him taking like 1,500 milligrams of edibles, and then working out on that, and then
Doc Ellis
and-
pitched a no-hitter on
and then-
LSD.
yeah.
Not sure if you're familiar.
And then pounding beers. There's videos of him drinking like a handle in 2 minutes. Like,
Dude, I accidentally took 50 milligrams of.
you were telling
or
us
maybe
it,
it was
yeah.
100. I don't know of an edible because I didn't know it was an
Yup,
edible.
bro.
It was the worst day of my life.
I had an incident on 420 a few years ago where my buddy was like, "We're gonna make some. I'm gonna make some peanut butter cookies, and we're gonna have a day." And this, I want to make this very clear. Few years back, I'm not my world. Allegedly. But my buddy makes his edibles, and all of a sudden we look around, and we're all dead. Like, we all, like, within 5 minutes, like, we are all on the floor collapsed. Like, what the F? It took 8 hours later, and we were still not back up. Like, we were still trying to survive.
I have
remember watching Club Dread on my buddy's, Broken Lizard Club Dread on, like, he had this giant, like, projection screen, and it just kept playing, but the sound wasn't working, and none of us could do it. We were so paralyzed that none of us could do it. We're all just, like, sitting there like zombies over some damn edibles.
I have never had an experience like that. My roommate last year.
Yeah, definitely. I've definitely never done anything like that.
He took one, and then we went to Taco Bell, and he got the Taco 12-pack box.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
And,
He's done that on a Friday.
and he pounded all of them within the span of 10 minutes.
You act like that's abnormal.
And he just starts the whole rest of the night. He was just vomiting over the porch.
That's unfortunate. That's
My
unfortunate.
friend's mom has, I don't know, in high school she made these like brownies all the time. And like I didn't know what they were. And I feel like if your mom makes brownies and you have
You're
kids
probably
around,
pretty safe,
you should
yeah.
like label it
Yeah.
maybe if it's something that's not like
Yeah, just a delicious
Right.
brownie, right?
I'm thinking it's just a brownie. So
Well, Leslie Nope sometimes had that happen to her, and it was just a delicious brownie. It was just a really good brownie.
yeah. So I ate one and I was like, oh, that's really good. It's really good. Then I ate another one because I was like, oh, they're like pretty small. Like I'll eat another one. And I drive home and I sit on my couch and I literally thought the world was ending. Like
Yeah.
I was sitting next to my parents and right afterwards I like cried and I had no idea what was going on. And so I texted my friend and I was like, I feel sick to my stomach. Like, what did we eat for dinner? And she was like, oh my God, you ate the brownies. Oh my God. Oh my God. And she's like freaking out. She's like, my mom should have told you.
Yeah, probably.
But like her mom was embarrassed because like she didn't want anyone to
My
know
God.
that she had that
We
stuff.
definitely should not say who this friend is because I'm pretty sure your mom could be in jail because of it. So we're not going to say who the friend is. Oh, that's rough. All right, let's get a tidbit. Tidbit is brought to you today by the Baltimore Police. Thanks again to Commissioner Mike Harrison for stopping by earlier on today. And we're looking for some folks. Join a proud new generation of Baltimore Police and make an active difference in your community. Start with competitive wages and excellent benefits on day one. Join for good, bpdrecruit.org.
I made this one a little bit easy. Am I too loud?
Yeah, a bit too loud. Yeah. Whoa.
I made this one
Coming in hot.
A little bit easier for you because yesterday was a challenge. So on Thursday, Adam Wainwright took the mound for the Cardinals at the age of 40 years old, throwing to his catcher Yadier Molina, aged 39 years old, while Albert Pujols sat in the dugout waiting for his chance to bat as a designated hitter at the age of 42 years old. They are the oldest trio of teammates in the majors this season and make up 33% of the active players in Major League Baseball
Oh, okay.
who are aged 39 or older. Who are the other 6?
Nelson Cruz.
Nelson Cruz is
call.
second. He is 41. He will turn 42 during the season.
Zach Greinke.
No.
Verlander.
Justin Verlander, he is 39.
Kershaw?
No. Kershaw's
Is Rich Hill still on a roster?
Rich Hill pitches for the Red Sox. He is 42.
That's
He's
right.
the oldest player in the majors.
I didn't know that.
Oliver Perez.
No.
Is Oliver Perez still in baseball?
Yeah, he pitched for the Diamondbacks last night.
I did not know that either. I'm learning things. Oh, you know what? Because I saw his wife tweet. Darren O'Day. Darren O'Day? Yeah.
He's still playing?
I saw it was the Braves. And I only know that.
Stellar last year. He is 39 years old.
I only know that because I saw a tweet from his wife last night.
How many are left?
You have 2 left and one who I'd give it to you if you guessed him.
Joey Votto?
No.
Evan Longoria.
No.
Charlie Morton.
No.
Good guess.
Who else is old? I'm going to ask you 2 questions. I genuinely don't know the answers to them. Is Robinson Cano still active?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he?
He played last night.
Is he on the list?
Yes, he's 39.
Okay.
He had a hit and a walk last night.
I got to be honest with you. Things went so south with Robinson Cano that it was hard for me to follow where things had gone
I
from
forgot
there.
he existed till
Yeah.
training. This guy, I don't think you're going to get him.
I don't think because he's just not well known.
He's well known, but you have to be like a baseball guy.
What am I trying to say? They call me the baseball guy in some circles. It's a cartoon show about me that airs on Sunday nights after The Simpsons. You have to be a baseball
Like you
guy.
know this guy's name, but you'd never guess him.
Okay, maybe just tell me.
Sergio Romo.
I probably wouldn't have guessed Sergio Romo.
39.
You're right.
And then there's another guy who I thought you would guess, but you didn't. Miguel Cabrera. He is 38.
I gotta be honest with you. Miguel Cabrera is still in baseball.
He's like 21 hits shy of 3,000. So he is.
Oh man,
he'll be 30,
I should have guessed that.
He'll be 39 a week from Monday.
All
so
right.
he was a guy who I would have given to you if you guessed.
All right, very good. All right, hey, we're going to be back at the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel this Sunday. Myself and Drew Forrester will be with you for the final round of the Masters. I got a surprise for you, and it's not the surprise that Jason Segel had at the beginning of Forgetting Sarah Marshall. It's a better one. Well, I mean, it's one I think that's more appropriate for what we're doing on Sunday, hanging out for the final round of the Masters. Come join us. We got free rounds of golf at Baltimore's Classic 5 golf courses to give away. Look forward to seeing you on Sunday, final round of the Masters in the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. Here's what's coming up totally tubular-wise this weekend. Again, Orioles-Rays, 3 o'clock. John Means, Shane McClanahan. It's on Masson. Tomorrow, also on Masson, and if you happen to live in the Chicago or Detroit markets, you can watch it on MLB Network. Jordan Lyles, Drew Rasmussen at 1. Sunday at 1 on Masson, 2, Tyler Wells and Corey Kluber. Local stuff this weekend. Lacrosse, Loyola Navy, 1 o'clock tomorrow on CBS Sports Network. Hopkins, Ohio State at noon on ESPNU. UMass Towson at noon on Flow Sports. Albany, UMBC at noon, AmericaEast.tv. The Biggie is on Sunday night. Rutgers, Maryland, 7 o'clock on Big Ten Network. Also, the Maryland baseball game will be on BTN on Sunday at 2 o'clock against Minnesota. The Masters, of course, are streaming right now on TV at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Saturday, 3 o'clock on CBS. Sunday, 2 o'clock on CBS for the final round of the Masters. And again, come join us in the FanDuel Sportsbook. It's the final weekend for the NBA's regular season. Everything else, go to GlennClarkRadio.com. Find it there. Non-sports-wise.
There's nothing you'd be interested in.
It's not true. Oh, tonight maybe.
Tonight. Tomorrow, Saturday Night Live is hosted by Jake Gyllenhaal, musical guest Camila Cabello.
Cabello.
Yeah.
Camila
Castellanos.
But it's weird because she pronounces the L's in her first name, but not in the second.
There's only one L in her first name.
Oh, I thought it was 2 L's. All right, then take it back. That's exactly how you're supposed to pronounce it. All right.
That's about it.
She broke up with Shawn Mendes. I just found out.
Oh, that was a while.
I just found out today. That's how on top of things I am. I literally found out today that she broke up with Shawn Mendes.
Needle in the thread, gotta get you out of my head.
I enjoy his work. I mostly enjoy her work. What was that group she was in that everybody liked so bad?
Fifth Harmony.
Fifth Harmony. And the other girl that was in that group that did that song, Kalani, she did that motivation song. That song's a 10.5.
Kalani blew up.
That song is so good, man. And the video is maybe the greatest music video I've ever seen. She's very attractive, that young lady. She's a very attractive person.
My Liberation Notes, it's a Netflix series. Now Our Blues, another Netflix series that come out tomorrow. Then on Sunday, you have...
Yeah? Oh, Winning Time. Yeah, of course. Everybody knows that.
You
We
have
got
Winning Time, The Rise of the Los Angeles...
Not
Lakers
Kalani, Normani is her name. Normani, and she did the song Motivation, and I believe she was in that same group, that Fifth I don't know anything. I am so old. I don't know any of these things.
You've got the walk.
She was in Fifth Harmony. I'm sorry, Paul. I get the point for that. Normani, the song's motivation. It's tremendous. Go watch the video right now. I'm going to do it myself.
Cass said she was in Fifth Harmony.
Cass, were you in Fifth Harmony too?
I was.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
Yeah.
Why have you not broken out the way that Camila Cabello has broken out? What went wrong for you? You're the Lance Bass of the group,
wrong.
really.
It was just like I had the music industry had to like humble itself. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like they couldn't have like someone that big. This
song is such a banger. This song is like, I'm not kidding. It's one of my 10 favorite songs of the last decade, and nobody ever knows what it is.
I don't even know what it is.
I don't know how you don't know it. It's so effing good. Hang on a second. Right. I think I'm playing in the background. Song kicks ass, man.
Unpopular opinion, I actually do not like Normani.
Why?
I don't care for her. They're all like catty girls. Like,
who cares about that?
And I just don't like
Who
her
cares?
music. I don't like her music.
Yeah, you're being catty.
I don't like
On
her
Wednesdays, we wear pink.
music.
How do you not like this song?
It's dumb. I
No.
literally, it's dumb. I'm sorry. I would never.
We're going to fight.
Maybe you're dumb.
Yeah.
True.
You ever think about that?
Okay.
I know I'm dumb.
It's fair.
Yeah.
It just sounds like every other song.
No, it
I've heard the
doesn't.
last
This
15
song's at
years.
10.5.
It's every pop song.
No, it
ever.
isn't. You guys are
sounds
wrong.
like a pop song that she literally is like,
banger and a
I
half.
need something to come up
You
with to
guys
make
are
money.
Rebecca
stupid.
Black's parents paid for this
You guys are so dumb. I can't believe I'm having the conversation with you. This is a pop classic.
I'm telling you right now, if I played that song in the car with my friends, it would literally be like, you turn it off.
Then they're all
Turn it off.
dumb. Every one of you has the right to be wrong.
think-
And I want you to know I will
I-
defend to the death your right to be
I
wrong.
think when 99%
This song is a pop classic.
of the group is saying one thing.
Well, we're 75.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's the common denominator.
Yeah. Nailed that.
Yeah.
Nailed that.
I got
guy.
a D in statistics.
Way to go.
I,
Way to go.
Sounds
I
like an F
think
to
I'm
me.
gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna trust the guy. I'm gonna trust the opinion of the guy who thinks that 3 out of 4 is 99%. We'll do that. We'll do that. Trust that guy's opinion.
That's gonna do it for
Tubular. Great.
Tubular.
Go find it at glennclarkradio.com. Cass, you're on Twitter and Instagram or whatever you're on.
Twitter, Cassidy Butler 5, and then Instagram, Cassidy_Elizabeth22.
And Jordan.
Instagram JSchwartzberg1 and Twitter SchwartzbergJS.
Thanks today to Commissioner Mike Harrison. Thanks to Delante Desouza from Winning Time. Thanks to Hasim Rahman Jr. and Spencer Anderson, who we're about to hear from. We'll get it all up in the greatest hits section of the tab at glennclarkradio.com. The bat around tomorrow.
Tomorrow we are having Orestes Estrade, who
Yep.
covers the Rays. He's going to be on the show, and we may have Todd Karpovich. I'm waiting to hear back from him today.
Okay.
If not, I'm going to reach out.
Actual baseball games to discuss now on the bat around. All right, Monday, Jeremy Kahn will join us, Stuff and Things. Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, Glory Days Grill, Royal Farms, the Baltimore Police, Grade 8's Memorabilia, the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel, Underdog Fantasy Football, the Baltimore Orioles, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Paul. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Paul Valley, or follow him on Twitter at Paul Valley III. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great weekend. Go Birds. Go local lacrosse teams. Duke sucks. Ohio State sucks too. We wrap up today's show. I had to do this a little bit earlier on. All Big Ten offensive tackle at Maryland. He's Spencer Anderson. He's with us on GCR. Well, down at the University of Maryland, they are in the throes of spring football as they get ready for the annual spring game coming up on April 30th. Joining us now, an all Big Ten offensive lineman. It's a pleasure to welcome in for the first time, Maryland Spencer Anderson. Spencer, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you so much for taking a couple of minutes for us.
Yep, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Hey, man, it's great to chat with you. Give me a sense for you, for everybody involved in the program, you know, getting the opportunity this season to get to a bowl game, to, you know, win it in dominant fashion the way that you guys did, show people what has been building at the University of Maryland for the last couple of years. How good did that feel, and how much has that translated to this spring and being out there and knowing what could be next for this program?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it felt amazing. I mean, obviously being here since 2018, you know, fiddling with kind of subpar seasons and, dealing with hardships, with coaches leaving and entering all the time. It definitely felt good to kind of get this bowl under our belt. It definitely gave us momentum to, go into off-season training. And, we kind of see if we follow our 5 pillars, toughness, effort, relentless, pride, and success. If we follow the first 4, we obviously reap the benefits of that success. And it was just great for all of the guys who we all came in with, and all the new guys, actually. They got to see what, when believing in coach's philosophy, we all reap the benefits.
Spencer, you certainly reflect a group of kids that had the opportunity to go elsewhere. You're from Bowie. You could have chosen, but you decided to stay here. And, you made that decision even before Mike Loxley was back, right? Like, what did it mean to you to be at Maryland? And how much more of a feel do you have for more kids like you making the same decision and choosing to stay home and accomplish things at the crib instead of going elsewhere?
Yeah, I feel like it's sort of a family decision. I mean, I know Lux always talks about, us not being a team, us being a family. And I felt even before he had gotten here, obviously, could have gone anywhere else. But, I always saw guys going elsewhere to, put on for the DMV. But, I kind of made the decision in high school, why not put on for the hometown? And, back then it was a movement, DMV to UMD.
Mm-hmm.
But it was sort of, I feel like it was just hysteria or kind of talk. But now I'm seeing more and more guys kind of actually believing that, the NFL will find you anywhere, and, you can have great success no matter where you go. I mean, University of Maryland's a top 25 public university. So, some of these schools aren't, but they might be top 25 college football programs. And a lot of guys are starting to look at it, talking to recruits, just looking at it from the academic and athletic perspective. And it's kind of exciting to see that, some guys are believing in, staying home isn't that bad. I mean, of course, my first offer out of high school was Kentucky. And I'm like, yeah, I'm out of here. I'm going away. But after further analysis and, talking to a bunch of coaches and my family, I realized you can do everything. You can accomplish all your goals in life by just staying at home.
I mean, it's really well said. Spencer Anderson is with us here on Glenn Clark Radio. It probably can't hurt for these next group of kids to see, and I know it's a different position than yours, but to see the bags that Stephon Diggs and DJ Moore just got handed this offseason, it can't hurt to say, yeah, you can do this at the University of Maryland and make an awful,
definitely.
Right? Dude's getting $100 million to play football, man.
Right.
What a
I mean,
world.
it just goes to show that, you don't have to go far.
Yep.
I know I grew up 20 minutes from College Park, and, it's like, why not?
I love that. I love the way that you say it. Spencer, as you guys get back together this spring, the celebration, the relief, whatever the words are that you use to describe, getting to a bowl game, getting a big win, how quickly does that shift? And what is the conversation like now about the next step? That's a good starting point for this program. Now we need to take another step forward. What's that conversation like as you guys get back together?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously we all, enjoying the moment, living in the moment. We're coming off our first winning season, and I mean, since I've been here, I mean, in a while actually. I'm not really sure when the last time we had a winning season, but regardless, I know we're all kind of excited. But going into this spring training and spring football is kind of, like you said, taking the next step. I know Lux has put a lot of emphasis on that, and basically what that means is just, granted we went 7-6, but I mean, are we happy with mediocrity? I mean, because in the grand scheme of things, that's essentially what that is. I mean, we have higher expectations than just the Pinstripe Bowl. Obviously, we want to get to, the Rose Bowls or, New Year's Six Bowls even. It's just like, taking the next step. And we all have a common belief that we can take that next step with our roster coming back healthy and everybody being on the same page and, just believing in what we did last year. I mean, honestly, we felt like there were games that should have went our way last year, but I feel like we have a good belief amongst the locker room that we're going to take the next step, and all it is just buying into the coaches and believing in each other.
How much did that factor into your decision to come back this season, Spencer? And I know a couple of the other offensive linemen that probably had the opportunity as well. You guys all made that decision. I know you're making personal decisions, but did you think at all about the opportunity that you might have to do something even more significant this year at Maryland and making that decision?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously we all had our own personal decisions, but at the end of the day, you kind of want to leave a legacy here. And even though, obviously, like I said, we had our first winning season in X amount of time, but we wanted to leave something greater, and show people that are to come that you can achieve. The bowls you always dreamed of. Growing up as a kid, you always see all the college football highlights and Fiesta Bowls and all the important the ones that everybody looks up to when they're little. We all kind of made the common agreement to come back and sort of just come back and buy in.
Wow.
I mean, it's really that simple. I mean, obviously, I know with me and Jalen Duncan and Dante Demas, we all had NFL aspirations, and talking to NFL Players Association and hearing from different scouts through our player personnel, we all decided, even though that we are able to take that next step, we wanted to make sure we had gotten everything out of what we came here for and getting everything accomplished that we said we would get when we came here.
Man, that's powerful to hear you say it, dude. And it gives you chills thinking about what could be possible, right? Like playing in January, playing New Year's Day, man. That'd be
definitely.
That'd be amazing. So in looking into your background, I found out you were a hell of a chess player in high school. Has that continued? Do you have any guys on the team that'll play against you?
Yeah, I am quite the chess player. Nah, actually, there's some guys on the team who actually do not want to play me. They've seen me play. So like, and sometimes in class, if I'm bored, I'll play the computer on expert level on my Mac, and we'll always stalemate. So that the AI and that.
Yeah,
and
you're
the computer
literally
is always
defeating a
smarter.
computer, right?
Yeah, and so like, of course, I'll never win, but we always just stalemate. And I have a couple of teammates that have seen that, and they're like, yeah, that's not happening. I'm not playing you. I'm just starting to learn the whole board and which piece does what. So, yeah, I don't think anybody's up for that challenge, but, hopefully that'll change. I'll hopefully try to convince somebody to play me.
All right, so for dummies like me that, like, the extent of our chess knowledge is watching the Queen's Gambit on Netflix, right? Like, what is it about chess that drew you to the game? Why did you fall in love with it? And is there some way in which it's like translatable that the things that you do in chess, the way that you have to use your mind, can be similar to the battles, maybe some of the one-on-one battles that you have going up against edge rushers in the Big Ten?
Yeah, I feel like chess is a game that is very complementary to life itself. I mean, a lot of people are big on making impulse decisions and doing what's best for them in the exact moment. But I like to think ahead and calculate my movements out. And I think chess is definitely it definitely relates to life in that aspect. And also, I mean, with every piece on the board, every piece has a different move. It can only do a certain amount of things, and I feel like that's extremely complementary to football because you have 11 moving parts on the field, and if 10 are doing the right thing and one's doing the wrong thing, your likelihood of success goes down. So
that's cool.
If all the pieces aren't moving together as one on the board, then if you're only thinking about one piece on the board and you're not thinking about another, you'll end up moving a pawn and your queen will get taken and you wouldn't even realize. That's why I feel like it relates to football because it's just calculated movement.
It's like giving up a sack, right?
Yep. Like everybody else could be on their man, and then maybe I missed the protection, and I'm thinking I had the linebacker who just dropped into coverage, and the end comes off the edge free. That ends in the turnovers.
Wow.
So I equivalate turnovers to getting your queen taken.
Wow.
At the end of the day, the most important piece on the board is your queens. I don't care what anybody tells you. The queen is always the most important piece on the board. And the football is the queen and how I look at it. Football, they call it the team, protect the team. I think of it in the aspect of chess, protect the queen.
Do you ever show up anywhere where like people are playing chess in public and like dupe them? They look at you, they're like, "Oh, here's this 6'5", this football player coming. This guy, there's no way." Like, do you ever get to pull that off?
Yeah, I've actually walked in a park one time and I saw that they were playing chess with like a clock and whatnot, and I just came to spectate, and they're like, "Do you know what you're doing over here?" I'm like, "Does anybody have next? I'll sit down if y'all got time."
That's awesome.
And they're like, "Yeah," and they were surprised, and I was showing them like, "There's 3 move mates, 4 move mates, 5 move mates," and they're like, "I mean, wow, we're surprised that you know this." I mean, obviously they knew it too because they were the chess themselves, but they were surprised that they thought I was just sort of the clueless jock that was like, "Oh, I'm starting to learn this thing. Could you guys teach me?" But little did they know I was already had a good feel for the game.
Man, that's cool. That is really, really cool, man. He is Spencer Anderson, all Big Ten offensive lineman. Spencer, let's wrap with this. The single biggest thing that you guys need to do in order to make that next step to compete for a Big Ten title this year. And we're talking about the teams you're going up against, right? The Ohio States, the Michigans, the Penn States, Michigan States. The single biggest difference in your mind for this team being able to compete to win a Big Ten title this season, what is it?
I think it's really simple. I mean, our margin of error, penalties, turnovers, sacks, drop passes, and eliminating all of those and keeping them under 12% is what will lead us to success. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. We had a statistic on offense, I know. We were 1-6 when we didn't reach our margin of error. But when we did, we were obviously better. The only one game we didn't reach our margin of error was when we played Kent State. And obviously that's not going to equivalent to wins when you're entering the gauntlet against the Ohio States and Michigans of the world. So, I mean, honestly, just taking care of the ball and controlling what we control is taking the next step. Trying to eliminate most mistakes that we get ball. And on defense, just rallying to the ball and making the punter have a day.
I mean, boy, we'd like to see more of that moving forward. We would love to see that. All right, at AO Spence on Twitter, AYO_Spence is how you follow him on Twitter. And on Instagram, it's at SA. It's at, is it Sathareal? Explain to me what the Instagram.
SA the real.
At SA. Oh, man, I'm an idiot. I should have figured that out. At SA the real _ is how you follow him. Hey, Spencer Anderson, man, great getting to know you. Best of luck for the upcoming season. We will be in touch. Thank you for taking a couple of minutes for us this morning.
Yeah, thank you for having me.